spice up your life.
Eric, those are the sounds of Keith Sweat bringing you to the top of the hour. The time is 7:06 on the dot. And my name is Emmanuel Kisiangani. You're hanging out with the adults in the room. Thank you so much. I've missed you guys all the way.
Missed you too, darling.
Yeah, missed you guys. I've missed even the listeners. Barbara, you'll go listeners. Yours is coming later, but I've missed you too, Barbara. Eric, I've missed you, huh?
Eric doesn't want to hear that.
You don't want me to miss you, Eric?
That is very strange.
Anyway, you hang out with the adults in the room. This is 94.4 Spice FM, the home of authentic conversation and authentic soulful soul music. My name is Emmanuel Kisiangani, and as usual, I'm hanging out with my favorite people.
All right, that's right. Fantastic. More evening to everyone who's listening from around Nairobi. Look, if you're in Kisumu area, you know how we do. If you're in the areas of Riat, Kibos, Kusa, Koru, Nyeri, Rabur, Winam, we are live and direct from Kisumu at 102.5, and all of my buddies in the county that I love and have missed dearly. Changamwe and Jomvu area of Mombasa, all the way down to Kisauni, Nyali, Likoni, and Vita. We are live and direct on 87.9. And remember, Spice FM is the only radio that is coming alive in visual format. That means wherever you are in the great country of Kenya, you can totally stream in and across Africa. I'm talking about the areas of Lodwar Town, Turkana, Lokichar, Lokari, Kakuma. We welcome you to the adults in the room. My name is Eric Omondi.
And I am Barbara Mbaka, also known as the Duchess of Ikolomani. If you're in Nakuru, you can tune in at 96.0. If you're in Nyeri, that is 97.6. If you're in Eldoret, that is 96.7. And if you're in Malindi, that is 97.6. And if you're able to contribute to our conversation, you can join our social media platforms at Spice FM KE. Let me repeat that. At Spice FM KE. That is Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You could also call in on 0719 012 600, and our SMS code is 40127. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, Barbara, you've said it better than anyone on the planet Earth could say it. We have a very dope show lined up for you guys.
Yes,
At the
we
top
do.
of the hour, we have a hot topic, and believe me when I tell you it's gonna be hot, man. It's gonna be a hot time at the studio.
In fact, I was fanning myself just by the thought of it.
Yeah, man.
I had to unbutton about 4 buttons down and open the car window because of the hotness of the hot
Topic.
Yeah, man. So you'd better be there.
You were not
man.
just full, you were...
You'd better be there at the top of the hour. Don't touch that dial. We're gonna be taking your feedback from 9 o'clock all the way to 10 o'clock. I think we're just gonna have a very good time together, guys.
Yes.
We totally are. And it's funny you said that because I was reminded to ask our dear listener to call us and tell us from where they're listening from. And if you want to just save the number, it's 0719 012 600. Remember the tail end of the second hour, immediately after 9 o'clock, we take all of your feedbacks about what we will be talking about,
Yes.
or some of your thoughts about anything.
And did you tell them that even if you have your mobile phone, you can just stream the show live?
That is totally
Yes.
right. You simply have to go to www, that is www.spicefm.co.ke. And the beauty is this, that not only will you get to see us, you also get to hear us.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
You get to see Barbara in her matching outfit. Her outfit matches with her eyelids.
Oh my God!
She did her makeup right. In fact, she's been in the makeup room. So all
It actually even matches with her lips.
yeah,
I was trying to powder myself up. Just powder, gentlemen.
her lips, hips, and fingertips.
Yeah, man, Barbara.
Anyway, Eric, how are you?
I'm very well. I had a fantastic weekend. You know, last weekend I had not sort of gotten the rhythm of. Last weekend was our first weekend.
Yes.
Our first
week
week.
of launching.
Yes.
Oh, our first weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had not gotten into the rhythm of hanging out and resting. So what I did this week is I was very intentional about rest. So I put my phone off and I slept deeply.
Like a baby.
So I feel rejuvenated. I also went to get groomed up because I didn't get time to cut my hair last week.
Yes.
So and after my hair was cut, I decided to do a facial. so that I can remove the dead skin. There's nothing, again, just in passing, homosexual about that. Some friend of mine was telling me, "Weh, bana, those are not nini." Nothing against
It's grooming. It's normal
gay
grooming.
guys, but
You're
it's
a
normal.
metrosexual man.
I'm
Yes.
a metrosexual man.
Yes.
So yeah, so this lady who was grooming my face was, she really surprised me. She was reaching my stomach area.
Excuse me?
She was massaging my belly. Because, they make you lie topless and then you're facing up.
You were doing a massage, a facial.
Yes.
Then she reached for your tummy.
No, first of all, they tell you to remove your shirt. Huh?
Yes.
So I removed my shirt, and it's a very humbling experience because you are just the two of you in a
The
room.
things you people do at barber shops.
So I removed my shirt, and then she started making my face. So she made my face. Then there's an area now for massaging your face. So her right hand was deep in my navel. Look at chin, just.
But that's not your face, didn't you?
I think she just was being kind.
Oh, that's not big. That's
So
extra.
She's kipped your neck and jumped. straight
No,
to-
she started from my neck all the way down, but it felt good. I'm not
Are
complaining.
those added services? The things you
No,
people
no,
do.
I
are they-
actually am not complaining. In fact, I had to give her a good tip because I was very happy. I didn't know my stomach needed some touching.
Eric, that's a bit too much. For a haircut, that's a bit too much.
No, I did a haircut, a facial, and a stomach service.
And a
I'm
stomach-
here to know what that stomach thing is called.
For digestion.
Am I stomach? Am I stomach massage?
Have you noticed Eric has a massage story every Monday?
By the way,
think on
last week he
weekends-
went to Gigiri.
He's very keen on massages over the
I can't
weekend.
wait to hear what next week he'll be doing.
That is strange.
Oh, good Lord.
How are you, Manuel?
No, I'm good. I like Eric. I had a more subtle. I had a very subtle weekend, man. I think I jinxed myself because last week I was announcing on the air the way we had a very good place with my wife, and but we had a very terrible argument
Oh, sorry for that.
on Saturday night.
Care to share?
She had gone to hang out with her pals, and then you see the census was supposed to at 5.
Okay.
And then
You're going to
you
use
see-
that as an
No,
example.
listen, the census was supposed to at 5.
So you wanted her home by 5.
So me, I was expecting, because she was using public transport, I was expecting there's going to be maybe a shortage of mats. And then you see, to my place, you have to use a bike if you're not driving. So I thought she'll even not get a bike. So I was on her back. I'm like, where are you, man?
It's just 5 o'clock. What's wrong with
She
you?
got home at 9, and we got into a very serious argument. And
Because
she
of
was telling-
that?
She was telling me she was telling me out of all the ladies she's with, who are all, there were 4 ladies, and 3 of them are married.
Yes.
She told me I'm the one who was the most, calling all the time.
Manu, you are needy.
She was accusing me. It was an accusation. I only called her 3 times.
No, that's a lot of.
That's a lot of time. Emmanuel,
I
let
think
me
one of
just.
the things
yes.
you need to do, Barbara, before you advise him because he needs it. One of the things you need to do, you remember last week he told us that they've got into a nice place where the wife doesn't call him all the time.
Exactly.
Maybe you should accord her the same favor.
Yes.
So that when she goes out, you tell her, look, if you need anything, call me. I am here.
But what if the mathri is kwisha? And then
Eh.
they-
Oh, and when you come home late, what's
There are
wrong with
taxi-
you?
There are taxi services you can always use. And I think also as an adult, if I were her
And an
somebody-
adult in the room.
Yes, and if I were her and somebody called me so persistently, I'd get upset. In
3
fact, that
times.
census story is a fake story.
By the
he
way-
was trying to tie. He was trying to
He was-
tie his neediness to the census.
Yes, that's how I told you he's
wanted
needy.
Did you want her to be counted that much?
Yeah.
Also, do you know that you can tell the census guy that you are married and you have a wife, and they'll believe you.
No, in fact, were you even counted?
No, but
Then what is the fuss about?
those guys really anguished my side of the argument.
I'm so sorry, Mrs. Kisiangani.
Man,
You
that
must
is
really
terrible.
make your wife have a bad weekend.
Up your
Yeah,
life.
this is Emmanuel Kisiangani, and you're hanging out with the adults in the room. This is the place, this is the home of authentic conversation, all the way to the top of the hour where we're going to have the hot topic. And as usual, I'm hanging out with my loveliest, bestest people on the planet Earth.
That is absolutely right, Emmanuel. Thank you so much. You've joined the adults in the room where we have no holds barred conversations about the this and that between men and the women who love them. My name is Eric Omondi. If you're listening from Malindi County, Watamu Town, Maweni, Shela, Barani, we are live on 97.6. And what about if you're in Eldoret, Laseru, Kaptagat, Kibiyet? We are also live and direct in Eldoret and its environs on 96.7. Remember, you can stream us live on www.spicefm.co.ke. We are the adults in the room.
And I am Barbara Mbaka, also known as the Duchess of Money. If you're on social media, you can tune in, you can contribute, you can let us know where you are listening from, or you can contribute to the conversation. Give us your suggestions. And our social media handles are SpiceFMKE on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. As Emmanuel said, we are the home of authentic rhythm, soul, and blues.
Yeah, Barbara, I saw you in the newspaper today looking very, very.
You saw that pose I put?
Yeah, man. I'm sure you've gotten enough phone calls from Ikolomani.
But the frequency in Colomani is 102.5.
Barbara, but just before I forget, Emmanuel, thanks for reminding me. My uncle called me yesterday in the midst of my nap. I went to church, went back home, and she said, "This lady whose chest is so close to your arm, did you get married and you never told us?" So I had to explain. I said, no, uncle, I'm not married. That lady is my colleague at work. She's like, with her chest that close.
I didn't even know they will use that picture. That picture was supposed to be a joke. And it was
so I had to really explain to my clansmen that I'm not yet married and you're a colleague. But I need to take you to their houses so I prove. Uncle, let her just explain. Then you explain that
the colleagues,
because it looks
with
funny.
our badges. We need to go with our badges.
Yes, actually,
colleagues need to learn.
I am sorry for that.
The concept of personal space. Barbara, how are you doing?
I'm good. I had a lovely weekend. Funny enough, I missed you guys. Can you imagine that? Yes, yeah, I missed you guys and I missed the listeners. Anyway, what I'm feeling today is a bit ish. I don't know if that is a feeling. I happened to watch the late Matthews funeral. I just had a glimpse of it on the KTN news, and I was actually very shocked at how this other wife, one of the late wives, the first wife, came openly and called out the second wife. And then it just hit me. As a society, have we become very accepting to polygamy? Are we okay with it? Because there were no qualms, things were okay. Or were these two ladies being pretentious for the cameras?
I don't know. I think it was maybe a case of just a different type of funeral for a different type of people.
Yes.
Because I remember the funeral of my late dad.
Yes.
It was the speeches time had a lot of drama. Because you see, there was the first wife, second wife. Yes. So the second wife speaks first.
Oh.
Yes, hierarchy.
Yeah. The second wife speaks first. Then she comes with her squad. You know, like dancers will walk her to the podium before she speaks. And then the second wife comes and speaks. The first wife, sorry. Now my mom would come and speak last.
Oh.
For us, it was a bit dramatic. And I remember my mom saying that one of the good things my dad did was he kept his wives apart.
And, that's nice.
So I think that's maybe a unique case.
Yeah.
That is why you're talking about it. I think it's unique.
Yes, I was very, like, they were so cordial. I'm sorry if it was me. I don't think I'll be that cordial.
I remember I saw a story, I think, in one of the South African magazines. These gentlemen who's married to 4 women went to some showroom and bought all of them.
Oh, yeah, I also saw that.
Cars, and they were smiling and they look the same. This guy had a particular taste of women. I think the 5th one will look like the first one. So I think, I guess
we are becoming more open to the issue of polygamy.
But are we open or does it just surface during funerals?
I think it's been there, but we're just not so open about it. And it suffices during funerals.
No. Barbara,
it's just how you manage it.
I don't think we are becoming more open. I think that was just a very unique case. Because you see, like, there was a time I watched a video on TV about some border guy who was getting married.
Yes.
And then the second wife appeared and she was not happy. You know, she even wanted
Meaning
to...
he was getting married to number 3.
You
said second one, yeah.
Exactly. But that one wasn't as cordial.
Yes.
And it was a recent thing that happened. So I think that's just a unique
case.
A unique case that's happening the other day. Eric, how do you handle your 2 wives?
Eric will not. What are you talking about? Eric can't even reach. Don't give Eric a heart attack. Eric is, if he decides to get married, it is one woman.
Thank you, Barbara, for the vote of confidence.
How do you know?
No, seriously.
We work together.
I work with him.
Working together means she knows.
Okay, I have picked that over the last couple of months.
Emmanuel is trying to malign my name. Anyway, I don't think I can handle 2 women. I don't have the grace for it. I cannot divide myself into 2. In fact, I really admire guys who are even married, let alone those married to 2. Because marriage in itself is hectic.
Barbara, would you be a second wife?
No.
Even if you're
that no is not convincing. Have you heard this?
Yeah, it's very conditional.
No. You're
She's
not
like,
sure?
it depends. Just say it depends.
On what?
If he has,
But it depends. How much money is being put on the
Exactly.
table?
I knew
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
I knew it.
Yeah, check it. Would you be a second wife? Hey. Check it.
I almost
Barbara.
fanned myself.
He's rich. Okay, yes. I would be
How
totally-
rich? No, first, how rich? Then we can consider. But anyway, being a second wife, I'm a very jealous woman, so I don't think I would be a second wife. Because I have this mentality that if he can bring a second wife, he'll bring a third one and a fourth one, and I'm very jealous. I'll just slap someone. So really, let me just stay in my lane.
All right.
Yeah.
How about you, Eric? How are you doing?
I've been thinking, it's a very grim thought, but it's a thought nonetheless.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about life's pitfalls. And more especially, I had a lot of my relatives that I haven't spoken to in a while because of, these fantastic adults in the room captions in the papers. But then I was thinking about the end of a matter, supposing if especially if it weren't as glamorous as it is right now. I've been thinking about how people end up, say, with terminal illness or people losing their jobs and sort of just employing my mind to that space of being able to plan for change, even unpleasant change. And I don't know why my mind went that direction, but I think a lot need to be said about planning for change so that because the truth of the matter is there are only two constants in life. One is time, and then the second one is change. So then if you're married now, I think it is not bad to think what would happen if you would get divorced.
Yeah.
It's a bad thought.
It's called the death of your
Yes,
relationship.
Yes, and if you say you are healthy, while you are thankful to God about the health, I think it's also equally important to spare some thought about supposing you say you are found with a terminal illness, how would you handle it? So I was playing those thoughts in my mind, at the back of my mind, and I was just thinking especially how to handle change amongst friendships.
Yes.
Change amongst family members, because one of the things, as we once discussed on this show, is that people often change regarding the levels and steps you take in your life,
that's
even
true.
before you yourself changes.
Yeah.
So I was thinking very loudly about the need to be very intentional about change, especially negative changes, because I think like a lot of us prepare for success,
But we
and
don't.
seldom
Yeah.
do we prepare for failure.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's really been on my mind. Have you ever thought about an unpleasant eventuality, Emmanuel? That
Yes, I've thought about it many times. And one of the things that I think about, let me just remove this because I can hear someone else talking on the other side. For me, I remember when I was in town, when I had an office in town, I used to have these guys would come sell insurance to in the office. So they'd walk in, then they'd be like, one of the things you have to do is you have to take insurance because just in case you walk out of here and you get an accident. So I'm like, hey, why are you planning for me to get an accident?
Yes.
So it used to be a shock to me to hear something like, you might be hit by a car just now when you leave here and then you will die. So what will happen to your family? So that was a thought I'd put at the very back of my mind.
Yes.
Because I'm like, why is this guy planning or cursing me?
Yes.
Like me, I think it's a matter of culture, especially for me. I think I have to learn the way Eric is saying to think of such an eventuality.
I think I'm
without
open.
thinking that if I plan and start paying for maybe insurance,
Then
life
something will
insurance,
happen.
Something will happen to me.
Yeah, I think also what led to this thought further was, we frown upon, you see so many times on the internet, people body shaming
Yes.
women and even men. Also, just the need for a human being or as a man to expect that my body is not going to be A1 every day.
That's true.
Also expecting betrayal from friends. I think it is very important that you think about it, you visualize it, you think about it in your mind. Supposing Barbara, who I thought is my, what do they call that?
BFF.
BFF or whatever else they call them.
Yes.
Ride and die.
Ride
Ride
and
or
die.
die.
Yeah, ride or die.
Supposing Barbara were to betray me, how would I take it? How
Yeah.
would I handle it? So that the shock is not so much.
Yes.
Although that's very deep, though.
No, but it's good to think like that.
it's good to think.
I always think of my exit strategy.
Yes,
Don't you think?
yes,
Yeah,
I totally think
Yes,
of mine.
it's good what he's saying because I have decided in my life, like in the last 2 years, to think of my exit strategy. When you come in, someone always prepare that you will leave.
So
at some
how
point.
do you prepare? Do you write notes? Am I just
No,
prepare?
I think
No.
for me it's a mental note.
Yes.
It's a mental note that, you know what, at 65, I am not going to be running up the stairs maybe with the same oomph. The prayer would be that I do, and that's
Yeah.
why I'm employing some exercises. But also, I cannot decide the causes of my friendships.
Yes.
That a friend can decide and stab you on the back. and life can happen and you get fired. So the idea to just plan for change. Also, planning for change is very important.
Be adaptable.
Because if time and change are constant, then surely you're not always going to be happy.
Yes.
Surely you're not always going to be rich. And surely you might not always be healthy. The hope is that you are.
But it's not
but
always.
It's not a guarantee.
Let me tell you, Barbara, Eric is a very interesting individual.
Why? He's
because
too
he
deep.
seems, you see now, Eric says he has to plan for his relationships. He needs a woman who is well spoken.
XYZ.
Yes, he has a list.
Does not have
all right?
Does not have what
Yeah.
any disease traits with her.
Yeah. So what I'm seeing, and this is maybe a trend that is shaping up.
Yes.
That now you're planning now for everything. Change is a very hard thing. Yes, I get the concept of planning for change, but change is, sometimes
Abrupt.
you can be hit suddenly. So how do you plan for something you can't even foresee coming?
No, the thing is this.
It's mental.
It's just, Emmanuel, the thing I'm trying to say is this. Just be in a mental space that, like Shaggy says, whether you're having it blue, somebody has it worse than you.
Yes.
So when I am happy, you have to think of the day you will be sad. When you are laughing and enjoying, you have
But
to
that's
think
too
of-
much.
No, it's very
Okay, I get
important.
what you're saying, but
Yes.
this is too much.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
tell you why, you're not ruining the moment.
No.
killing the
not
moment,
that.
Yeah. Like
I'm
you
not
don't
saying,
you don't wanna enjoy this.
no,
nice
I'm
moment.
not saying in the midst of hey, I'll one day be sad. I'm
Uh-uh.
not saying that.
No.
I'm just saying that at the back of your mind, you need to apportion segments of very not good or interesting aspects of your life that will definitely happen.
The what ifs.
Not even the what
The
ifs,
definites.
the definites. that
E.g.
will happen.
growing old.
That's
dying, death in a family.
Yes.
I've been thinking about, say, when my mother passed. And this also, sort of inculcated a lot of this thought process. It was a very grim thing because I'd never really experienced death that close.
That close to you.
So when my mother passed on, I had to really put myself together because I was a wreck for a long time, maybe.
And
2-3
you're the
years.
firstborn.
Yes, and then so I thought to myself, look, so death is an inevitable. It's going to happen. So if that is true, so can be brokenness. Like there's a person listening today who's driving home and the wife is going to drop the bombshell. A friend of mine once told me that he was away in Rwanda on some assignment. And when he came back, the wife said, I've been meaning to talk to you. I was trying to do it over the phone and I don't think it was a pleasant idea. So this is the thing. I'm expecting a second child. But the bad news is it's not your child.
What?
Yep. so you see, if you don't anticipate change, you see the way you laugh. If you don't anticipate change, and you're only, leaning towards good things, happiness, more money, more promotion, life can catch you off guard. Then your wife comes and says, "Hey, but I'm expectant to somebody else's child." Then you fall and die.
You're hanging out with the adults in the room, 94.4
Spice FM.
And we'll be back after this very short break. Oh man, that guy was singing from his heart. He wants, Barbara, that guy wants to be your man. So,
Does he have
and he
what
can
it takes to be my man?
He is married, but he can take second wives. And he has money.
Not interested.
You're hanging out with the adults in the room. My name is Emmanuel Kisiangani. This is 94.4 Spice FM. If you're in Nairobi, if you're in the Nairobi environs, places like Kitengela, Rongai, places like Limuru, the frequency is the same, 94.4 Spice FM.
That is absolutely right. Remember, this is the home of the 80s ballads and your absolute favorite spicy soul jams. Remember also that Spice FM is the first radio coming alive in visual format. That means that if you're in Bryanston areas of Sandton, Johannesburg, or all the way down in Randburg, or Limpopo, or Camps Bay in Cape Town, you could simply go to www.spicefm.co.ke. But if you're listening on the stereo, worry not. If you're in the areas of Mombasa County, one that I really love, Changamwe, Jomvu, Kisauni, Nyali, Likoni, Karibuni Sana. We are live and direct on 87.9. If in Nakuru, Shabe, Section 58, Free Area, Kiamunyi, and the Central Business District of Nakuru, we are on 96.0. My name is Eric Omondi, and welcome.
And I am Barbara Mbaka, also known as the Duchess of Ikolomani. If you're in Malindi or Kilifi, you can listen to 97.6. If you're in Eldoret, Kapsabet, Kapenguria, that is 96.7. 107. And if you're in Kisumu, Kisi, Kakamega, Ikolomani, Ishebakali, Butere, that is 102.5. I am Barbara Mbaka. Welcome back to the show.
And remember, the top of the hour, we're going to be taking in your phone calls on 0719012600. The number is 0719012600. From 9 o'clock all the way to 10, we're going to be receiving phone calls. Those phone calls, some of them are quite deep, huh?
Yes.
really are.
Last week we had very deep phone calls.
Some of them
And
are
I love it that we hear from guys all the way down in Lokicha and Lodwa and Wajir.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
And
lovely.
Garissa.
Garissa,
Lovely.
man.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm getting, all the love on social media.
Oh,
I have
that's
a few
nice.
friends from Wajir now. The last time I went to Wajir, I knew nobody. Now I can go and call a few guys. Check, Abdi uko wapi bana? Nimefika.
I have some friends in Kericho.
All right.
Please tune in on our social media handles. That is Spice FM KE on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Let us know where you're listening from and contribute to the conversation.
Eric, did you get, before Barbara tells us what's on her mind, did you get counted?
No, I wasn't. I was actually on my social media handle asking where those guys. There's a gentleman who came.
Neither
to my
was I
house.
counted.
There's a
Who was
gentleman.
counted?
There's a gentleman who came to my house, and I was kneeling, praying. Then he knocked like a police. I thought Jesus had come directly himself. My heart started beating. He knocked so violently.
It was the census guys.
Yeah, just one guy. So I opened the door and said, "Hey, come in." He said, that's Ingi. So I said, all right, so what do you need? He said, what is your name? So I said, my name is Eric Omondi.
That was when? On Saturday?
On Saturday, yes.
Yes.
On Saturday. So I said, my name is Eric Omondi. And then he said, all right. So he wrote some inscriptions above my door, and then he left. He said somebody else would come, but they never
They
came
did
back.
those inscriptions at my place too.
I don't have that.
Yeah, there's a tweet I've gotten.
But you have a big gate. I think nobody can come to your house. Do you have a dog also? Plus your cows.
Everything. My livestock is around.
Barbara, there's a guy called Samir Dave who's tweeted. He says, I am dealing with abandonment issues and lack of self-esteem. Now this Census Kenya 2019 guys are adding fuel to the fire by not counting me. I feel more invalidated than
Tell him he has a week to go. He has a
That
week.
is also another thing I didn't know. I thought it was a 2-day exercise.
Oh, you didn't use for
That's
one
why I
week.
even was asking on social media if how long. So I learned it's a week long.
Yes,
So
it's
now
for 1 week.
I'm no longer anxious.
Hey,
So I
because
think-
Sana did my check because of Census.
No, you just had issues. Let's just say that. You had issues. You like bullying your missus. You come home late, but you don't want her to come home late.
What's on your mind, Barbara?
What's on my mind? A friend of mine over the weekend fired her caregiver.
All right.
And okay, people go through that HR issues, domestic in the house. But what caught my eye was after 2 years of this lady having this nanny in her house, and she's a very nice lady to the kids. And I've also had an interaction with her. My friend found out that the lady was HIV positive.
All right.
So immediately within the hour when she found out about this, she sacked this lady. And for her, when I spoke to her, she was like, I sacked her because I feel I have a small child, la 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 la. And yet this lady has been with them for almost 2.5 years. It got me thinking, are we still stigmatized? Because at some point I've really felt bad. For 2 years, this person has been there with you. You have never had a problem. But the fact that you just found out, it changed your dynamics. I do understand because she has a toddler, I have a toddler. And yeah, the dynamics of you as a parent thinking I've left someone, maybe there could be an injury. One of those, and of course, as Manu says, you overthink things. But as a parent, or is it, have we really healed from that? Or are we stigmatizing people with HIV?
I think there's still a lot of stigma. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's not the
we
first
lie,
story.
yeah.
That's
We
not-
lie that we are okay about it.
That's not the first.
But I think we're just not yet ready.
That's not the first story I've heard about people discovering about HIV and firing the house help.
Yeah.
That's why I like working for Standard Group because they do not
Really?
discriminate. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know we don't discriminate, but
Yeah,
really
they
because
don't.
they didn't ask you HIV status.
No, it's a good thing. It's a
They
good thing.
neither asked nor discriminate. And you're
Yes,
right,
that's
you're
true.
right, Barbara, because there's a lot of stigma still surrounding
Yeah.
HIV and AIDS, which really, by and large, is a disease like any other. If
Yes.
you think about it, So if you're going to let somebody lose their job because of their condition, I think it's unfortunate. We need to be more accommodating and understanding. Because
But this is someone who has a
Especially
child,
in
so it's just
2019.
yes, especially also the stigma around it is really from ignorance, because a lot of people associate HIV and AIDS from promiscuity. But a lot of it can also be gotten through, blood transfusion,
It is
injuring
seen.
yourself. And even if you get it, in the case that you've not used protection, there are still many, many ways you could, stay and lead a healthy life.
And
Kisingani,
then I think
can I
one
ask a
of the-
personal question?
Just before you ask
Sorry.
that question, Yeah, I don't know what question that is. No, I'm curious. Well, one of the things that people should do is what I see people doing is before they hire a household, they check if you're you're taken
in
for
fact,
a medical test.
It made me wonder,
that
should
would
I
be-
find out about mine? I've never asked them. I'm like, what do I find
think-
out? It's a
I think if you
catch-22.
have such qualms, then take the lady.
Would you hire someone for example, now, if you get a family or you set a family, would you hire someone?
Personally, I don't think I discriminate against someone because of HIV.
No, really,
because
you shouldn't.
It's become like just any other disease.
You
Yeah.
see a lot. In the
No, many
beginning-
people are just scared of their kids because they are young.
in the beginning there was a lot of stigma because people had very little information about what was told around the virus. But now we are better informed. We know how it spread or how it's contracted and so on and so forth. So discriminating somebody, it could happen to the best and the least and the whatever of us. That you go for a haircut or you have a steamy session
Or you
with
get
your
raped.
significant other. Even a steamy session with your significant other who has been cheating. Yeah, and then you start coughing.
I don't know why. You and coughing. Do you have to associate coughing with such things?
No, I'm just saying. So the thing is, it's really
I get you.
backward to start discriminating against a disease. It's a disease.
Yeah.
Come on, once you look at somebody and go like, you have malaria. You are bitten by a mosquito. Get out of my house.
Yes.
I'm firing you. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible. Speaking of discrimination, my wife told me a very interesting story, and I know it's interesting because I know her friend. She has this very light-skinned friend. So she's telling me back in the day. I don't know why she was telling me this story now. Maybe because of that Kosana in Juicy. But she was telling me that when she'd go out with her very light-skinned friend,
Yes.
have men, or rather boys, because those were boys those days. I'm the man. Boys would dart. Let me use that word. It's
Yes.
an old Sheng word. The vibe her
Or
friend.
seduce her friend.
They'd
The-
seduce her
The
friend.
light skinned.
Yeah, they'd seduce the light-skinned friend, and then they'd ignore her.
But that still happens.
Yeah, that's why that's the topic I'm bringing up. Like that colorism story.
Yes, yes.
Like even now, if you watch many TV stations, you'd find that they've employed one very light chick, and then another very dark guy. Okay, they don't care much about the guy. But
I'm
I
trying to look at Spice.
I think till today, I hadn't seen till now.
I'm doing the profiling of Spice now. Now that you've said it.
My question is colorism still something that exists in the modern time?
Yes, it
Especially
is.
here in Kenya.
I think it is. Yes.
Have you ever been discriminated against because of your color?
Yeah, many times. But I don't take it personal. And even, let me give an example, and I don't know if this is correct or incorrect context. Many women of late, you've had women bleaching to try and become much lighter. The reason women are doing this, some of them is because they want to be appreciated or feel wanted. There's that need, they lack some. Others just do it for the sake of it. Maybe skin, they have skin issues. But for me, I have seen many times that my lighter friends, if we were in a restaurant, would get more attention when we were growing up. Not now, because they were lighter and were dark. Men would see them much better looking than some of us.
All right. That's interesting. It's funny you say that. Just maybe about 2 months ago, I was reading a very long article on The Guardian, and this African-American lady was exasperated because she's a dark-skinned woman, and she says that African-American men can date and hang out with a dark-skinned woman.
Yes.
But when the rubber meets the road and they have to take the relationship to the other level, they back out. And why do they back out?
Eric,
They say-
hold that thought about why they're going to back out. I want to play for you a very nice message from the Travelogue.
All right.
Yeah, especially for you and Barbara, man. You guys need to go through the Travelogue.
You don't need it. You had Kwam at home over the weekend.
I actually need it so that I look for a very nice destination to take my wife.
Okay.
That right, you're hanging out with the adults in the room on 94.4 Spice FM. If you're in the environs of Kitusuru, places like Spring Valley, Muthaiga, the frequency is right there on 94.4 Spice FM.
That is absolutely right. Remember, we are the home of the 80s ballads and your absolute favorite spicy soul jams. Spice FM is the first radio coming alive in visual format. So wherever you are in the great Republic of Kenya or Africa-wide, you simply need to go to www.spicefm.co.ke. And what if you're listening from Malindi? We are live and direct in the entire Malindi, the areas of Watamu Town, Maweni, Shela, Barani, Ganda, Mkaomoto, Gede, Kijiwetanga, Malimo, live and direct on 97.6. My name is-
Kijiwetanga.
Yeah, my name is Eric Omondi.
And I am Barbara Mbaka, also known as the Duchess of Ikolomani. If you're in Kisumu, Dala, that is in Kisumu town, Kisii or the Western region, that is 102.5. If you're in Nyeri, Muranga, you can listen through 97.6. If you're in Eldoret, Kericho, Kapsabet or the Nandi County, that is 96.7.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the number is 0719012600. Please, we're going to start taking in your phone calls at from 9 o'clock all the way to 10 o'clock. The number is 0719012600. Just before we went on the break, we were discussing a very interesting topic about colorism.
Yes.
And Eric, you're in the middle of a speech.
Yes.
Sorry, cut you short.
Cut you short.
That is so funny.
Yes.
By the way, about Kijiwetanga, one
Yes.
of these...
Where is that place? Is it in Mombasa?
No, it's
South
in
Coast?
Malindi. It's in Malindi.
Uh-huh.
It's a town in Malindi. One time I was at the coast and I took a drive around. I love Mombasa, man. Anyway, that's for another day. I was saying that African American women, from an article I was reading on The Guardian, were complaining, especially the dark complexioned women,
Yes.
that they would date African American men to a certain point. When the relationship began getting serious, these men would turn and say they are not marriageable.
The
ladies.
They're like Kenyan men.
Yeah, and then the ladies will be like, so what's the issue? In fact, I was trying to get hold of that article, but I couldn't when we were on a break.
Yes.
But the guys would say that they are looking for a marriageable skin tone.
What do you mean a marriageable skin tone? That's a bit too rude.
A lighter chick, they would proclaim that would sire very good-looking children.
I've had men, even Kenyan men, say that. I have friends. There's a moment they opened up. They're like, they look at women's skin tone and color so that they can get a very good blend of kids.
Yeah, in fact, a friend of mine once said that
which I think is a bit mean.
There's a friend of mine who told me that he's very intentional about the kind of woman he dates because he doesn't want his kid to be chongolewad in school.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because
I
of
think
either the nose structure or the skin tone.
I tell you what, I'll confess right here. In high school, my high school sweetheart was as light as ever. She was a light.
You had that complex.
Yeah, I used to love those light chicks until I don't know what happened. I just changed my mind. I changed my mind. I don't have to say
There's a story, but
yeah, I don't have to get emails.
Yes.
But I changed my mind. I figured out, hey, this light thing is overrated. So I just decided I'm gonna choose.
But
you know, also the light people, also some of them feel very discriminated. As much as we say that the black ladies or the light dark people, even the light skinned ladies, sometimes people tend to assume most of them are blonde, and it's not true. Yeah. So they're all categorized. The way he was laughing, there has to be a story.
No, I'm laughing because Barbara's taking that point right out of my mouth.
Yeah, so they're not, I think either we stereotype them. It's not that everyone is like that.
Yeah, it's true. It's a case of stereotyping because my wife was telling me like her friend, some people just want her as a trophy.
Yes.
Instead of wanting her for who she is.
Yeah.
You know,
The ones who are looking for light-skinned babies.
Yes.
There's some of that. Not only about women and men relations, actually. A friend of mine, one of my very good friends, we went to school together.
Yes.
He's a mixed. The dad is Luo and his mom is Russian. So he's mixed.
That's a combination. What a one.
And Ogembo he's actually invited to be what is the guy who stands behind the groom and that guy called
best man.
He's invited to be best man of like 6 guys every year
for photo pics. Sorry,
because I think he makes the cameras
it
good.
makes
photo ops. Sorry,
yes. So there's some of that because I don't think a lot of guys intimately know him enough to want him to be a best man, but
and he agrees.
Sometimes I guess I think he started declining some. So, and even when we are hanging out, there is preferential treatment. In fact, like Obama writes in his book Audacity of Hope that the first time he visited Kenya with his sister Auma, they were at Serena, I think, and one waiter was very intentionally ignoring their table and going to serve some Caucasian guys. So he was shocked that even in Africa,
we have the same treatment.
They have the same treatment.
Yes.
I remember when I was growing up, when I was in primary school, being a pointee, we used to call them pointees. Being a pointee was a privilege.
Yes, was it?
Yeah, so if you're a pointee, you're like on another level in the.
And if you're a dark skin like me, my God!
But Barbara, you're a pointee.
Where?
Of Maragoli and Kusu.
No, but I'm actually from Idaho.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, what's on my mind? I was, again, while just hanging out and resting at home, I happened upon a talk show in the States, and it's hosted by Jada Pinkett, who is Will Smith's wife and also a popular actor. So Jada was alluding that most societies lack knowledge about what women culturally like in regards to sex.
True.
She went further and said that this was because women have not been allowed. I wonder who should allow them, though. But these were her words. She said that women have not been allowed to explore in the same way as men. And then further down in the same article I was reading, and then I went forward and watched the video. She says that the number one secret to their marriage has been that Will has allowed her to invite sex toys in their bedroom. So then I thought about you. And,
Barbara.
You. So I was wondering.
Didn't say Barbara, he said you.
I was wondering, would you consider sex toys in your bedroom, or would you be afraid
Emmanuel,
that the
would you
batteries can run out and then get
Emmanuel,
stuck in
would
your
you
oven?
consider sex toys in your bedroom?
You guys are...
I would like to know this answer.
No, okay, I've never thought about it, honestly. Especially
Really, Eric?
No, supposing it
I've
can
never-
make your marriage last.
I've never thought about it. Of
No, it will
something,
excite your marriage, your bedroom.
Let me finish. You see, as Jada says, says number one secret of their longevity in marriage.
Her
they've
and
been-
Will Smith.
her and Will Smith.
Yes.
They've been married now, Barbara, since 1995.
Yes.
Over 20 years.
Yes.
She says that Will is, in fact,
24.
24 years. So Will allows her to play with whichever toys she wants. So I'm like, if somebody prescribed and said, look, you need sex toys now in your bedroom, are you going to allow it?
This Bukusu man is in shock.
Okay, I didn't know I'll share such stories on the air.
Eric, you're mean.
But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Is it something you can consider?
I don't know, man. Honestly, I have no idea because, first of all, who will bring it up?
Okay, if
Yeah,
your wife
yeah.
said, for instance, if your wife said, babe, I think we should explore with huge toys. Is it
What
something-
do you have to say huge toys
Barbara, what would you do? What's your opinion?
about that?
Yes.
Wow. First and foremost, I think depending on the marriage and the couple, I think people need to be adventurous in bed. I do agree with this. Yes. Just laugh on that seat. One, I agree with Jada Pinkett, what she said, that women are not given a chance to explore.
By who? Who has given men the chance? That was actually my question to
Yes,
you.
okay.
Because she says women have not been allowed. So who allows men?
No one allows men. Men have the freedom to go about with whatever. For us women, we are supposed to confine. Women are not supposed to
You
be
don't
strict.
think it's self-imposed?
I think society imposed our mothers, our aunties, how we grew up. It's our society and our cultures. They don't allow women to be stray or to you see, for example, if let's say this year I was seen with Eric, the next year I was seen with Manuel, it will be like, that lady is just promiscuous. You get. But for a man, if a man was seen with Eric, changes after 3 weeks, Agnes, Barbara, it's a kawaida thing. It's very normal. But for a woman, they'll be castigated upon. So society has not given women a chance to be very open with their sexuality. You also fear being stray.
I think those are some of the questions we're going to ask at the top of the hour because I think this actually connects with what we are discussing at the top of the hour. We are discussing if intercultural marriage is tribe a factor in marriage, and do intercultural marriages work? Yeah. We're going to discuss that.
I think
heavily at the top of
personally,
the
if
hour.
I'm to answer Jada, I think I'm not so conservative. Or Emmanuel feigns conservatism, but I'm
Yes.
sure put in a dark room he would drink.
He will do things.
But I think apart from maybe getting wary that the battery would get stuck in my abdomen,
Why is the battery being used on humans?
no,
No,
things don't use the electricity and batteries.
No, they're
like
just
supposing
charged.
the battery runs out.
No, it can't
when
run
it's
out. You've
inside,
charged
say,
it.
my abdomen.
Let me ask you, it's been charged. It's 100%.
What if I am a mega
What do you mean mega?
What if I use too much power, then it dies?
You know,
inside
this
of
power of yours usually lasts for 7 minutes, max.
me? No, supposing, Barbara, this is a very legit question.
Yes.
Supposing that battery runs out, right?
After
Inside
7
of-
minute, we have charged. Does your phone die after 7
That
minutes?
thing is 7 minutes.
No, I'm
only.
imagining you're thrusting, you're pounding for 7 minutes.
Now, listen, Eric.
No, let's be serious.
Let's put the question to Eric. Would you allow...
But I'm telling
He
you, I'm
actually is,
I'm
yeah.
allaying my fears. I'm just like,
For-
aside from that
Leave
battery
Eric alone.
running out of charge, and then that thing getting maybe stuck in my appendix, I would not know where
First, you're not going to put all of it. For me, I do not.
Barbara, do you use these things?
One, okay.
I tell you
You
what.
just put the tip.
No,
I tell you what. Let me answer.
I don't use it for the record, but I don't mind
Don't
anyone
be
using
shy.
it.
This is a safe
No,
space.
I'm open to use it. I've just not found a man who can use it, or I've never used it.
I think-
I've not
let me
gotten a
tell you.
chance to do, but it's a free world.
Speaking for myself, Eric was asking me that question. I was making sound.
You were
It's because
stammering.
I think I'm from a very conservative background.
The bukusu in you cannot allow
not
you.
even Buku, just me. Like me, I'm very. My wife knows. In fact, the other day we were discussing.
Why are you laughing
The
at
other day we were
yourself?
discussing sex before marriage, and she was telling me I couldn't even say the word sex. Jackie, you couldn't even say that one. So I'm like, I am conservative. Because you see, my mom may be listening, and she might really look at me. But
No, but supposing, you see,
No.
I think what the conversation Jada was having, which is very important now on a serious note,
Yes.
it's to disabuse these notions about where we are from
Yes.
and who we are. Say, supposing for a healthy sexual relationship in the matrimonial home,
Mm-hmm.
if your wife said, let's try gadget B, D to a C. So,
No, there's a saying in Swahili. I don't know how to translate it, but it says "kila nyani na starehe zake."
yeah.
So for me, I'm like, it is open. If that's what tickles your
Emmanuel, it is
fancy,
open.
go ahead with
I
it.
tell you what.
If you're like Emmanuel, please stay to the Kufamende cockroach approach.
Me, I'd ask, where did you learn these things?
I knew
But
you'd
you
say
see,
that.
that is very bad.
That's
You
very
see,
bad.
that is
Maybe
very bad.
Who have you been hanging out with? Really go
no,
and find
it's
out.
not about that. Someone is trying to
Jackie, who is
rejuvenate
your
the
new
marriage.
friend?
What if she read it on the magazine?
It's rejuvenate.
When you apply.
No, what
everything
if
you
it will actually make your marriage better?
And that's why I'm telling you, rejuvenate your marriage.
Like maybe you'll become now a long distance runner, right?
And me have been a short distance runner. And your peer.
Spice FM. My name is Emmanuel Kisiangani, and you're hanging out with the adults in the room. Remember, the top of the hour, 9 o'clock, we're going to be taking in your phone calls on 0719012600. The number is 0719012600. And as usual, I'm hanging out with my favorite people.
Alrighty, that is absolutely right. Emmanuel, you could not have said it better. If you're listening to us from the great county of Kisumu, the areas of Kibos, Kusa, Koru, Riat, Mirieri, Rabor,
Rilieri.
Wenam. Yeah, that's what they pronounce it. Riat. We are live in Kisumu, live and direct at, what is the frequency in Kisumu, my good Lord?
102.5.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I got mixed up there. And if you're in the areas of Nakuru and its environs, that's being Molo, Njoro, Mai Mahio, Narok, Bahati and Rongai, we are on 96.0. Remember also that Spice FM is the first radio coming alive in visual format. What that means is that if you're still stuck in the office or you're in a matatu going home, you could simply go to www.spicefm.co.ke, and not only will you get to watch us, but hear us. My name is Eric Omondi.
And I am Barbara Mbaka, also known as the Duchess of Ikolomani. You can also plug in through our social media handles. That is Spice FM KE. Let me repeat that. Spice FM KE on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you, as Emmanuel said, you can call us on 0719-101-600. Let me repeat that. 0719-012-600. And our SMS code is 40127.
Yeah, and remember, we were about to get right into our hot topic. Eric, you were giving us very interesting stories right before we went to the break.
Yeah,
About exploration.
It is healthy.
Yes, I think one of the things that I'm still trying to grasp as an African man is that while it's true that a lot of us come from cultures and customs and norms that shape how we think and act, I think we need to employ a lot of unlearning,
Yes.
especially if it's something for the betterment of our other half.
And
if
our
I-
relationships.
Yes, so if I got married and my wife
Excuse me.
came and said that she wanted to try a few things with me as a husband,
I think that's good.
I would give it a good thought and role play as it's required, and not
Please don't ask questions
and not
like
resign myself to
Emmanuel.
conservatism, because those can stifle relationships.
You can become boring.
You know, my mom has your number. you're really getting into trouble. But that begs the question, because our hot topic today is tribe a factor in marriage, and do intercultural marriages work? And this question was brought about by my wife. We were speaking to her, and I was asking her, would you marry me again? Because you see, me, I'm a Pokoso man with these very conservative views that I was sharing
many traditions.
And her, she's a Meru lady. So she was saying very confidently, and I don't know if it was part of the Kosanaing for Ali and Friday, and she was saying, yeah, that is a question I'll ask myself. Because do you want to be part of that culture? Do you want to be part of that culture?
Yes.
I'm like, hey,
I think she was just upset
so passionate?
based on the argument you had.
So the question is, what do you guys think about this intercultural? You know?
I've dated across board. I've had the good fortune of hanging out with, and by dating, Barbara, I'm not meaning I've been sleeping around.
Oh,
She likes accusing me of that. Anyway, I've dated.
you defended yourself.
I've dated a Maasai. I've dated a Kikuyu lady, and I've never quite dated a Luya, actually. Funny enough, I've never
can
met.
send you.
Do Luya chicks live in Nairobi?
I've never dated.
Oh,
I've
'cause
never
I'm-
met any Luya except
as
you.
a Luya
Are you
man,
serious?
Barbara.
Yes.
You don't have Luya friends?
Barbara,
No.
as a Luya man, my mom used to tell me to bring for her bukusu. But I used to tell her I don't find them. I don't see them.
They're not anywhere.
I
I've
don't know
actually
where
never
they are.
met
My
a
Luya sisters, those who were single and searching,
live in Nairobi.
Eric is free.
They live in Nairobi.
Yes.
I'm there in Emuhaya and the Busaka.
No. We are all over.
Ah,
All over.
Funny
this-
enough, on a very serious note, I've
Yes.
never met somebody who told me they were Luya ladies.
Yes.
I've only met
Till
Luya
when you
men.
came to Spice.
Yes. So anyway, I have had the good fortune to really, because I believe in broadening my world view.
Yes.
The idea to just date somebody from your village, because it goes deeper and backwards. They'll start
Yes.
saying, hey, now go to Masat. Now go to,
Yes.
to your neighborhood. But having said that, it's not lost in me that we are very culturally different.
Yes.
I was reading about the Nandis. And the Nandi, any land Nandi who's listening can verify if this is true. But I read that Nandis, upon getting a child, there's not a lot of fanfare in the instance that the child is a girl.
What do you mean?
They don't
They don't
there's
really,
no wahala,
yeah.
a lot of. It's
But
very
if it's a
quiet.
boy?
When it's a boy, they kill a bull and drink beers for night's end, and the dad really celebrates.
I'm even upset
So
for women who come from Nandi.
Yeah, so the father invites his friend for a beer drinking party, and an animal is even slaughtered for for celebrating. There's also a Nandi culture that I was reading that does not allow the woman to question the man. You don't question the man. In fact, I was saying,
And those old traditions.
no, these are actually enshrined in their customs. I was
Till
hanging
now?
out- yes, I was hanging out with a friend of mine a while back, and his wife called and said, "How long will you take?" And he was so upset because he's Nandi.
Yes.
He said, she's asking me where I am. She's asking me. She was
Oh, he was,
furious.
But all men do that. They don't like being asked where they are.
No, but the Nandis are so particular. It's actually a rule that women don't ask men where they
You
are.
just roll in like a stone in the
you
house
just-
and roll
you
out.
Roll in. It's like you can have serious problems.
Me, I know I can have serious problems if I was married to a Nandi.
The other
so
thing,
the-
the other thing, Emmanuel, just give me a minute. The other thing I learned about the Nandis is that in case of separation, the wife moves out, okay, of the home and is not allowed to go with the children.
My God.
Yes. So the Nandis can't allow. You see the way the other day you're saying, who should I leave the child with? If you're married to a Nandi man, you carry your small mattress and you leave.
Who?
You.
Not me.
So now the question that begs the question now, when you're getting into an intercultural marriage, there are some things then you have to understand about
Yes.
these other cultures.
Yeah, you can't just start breathing in each
personally-
other's noses because that you're intensely loved.
But I tell you what, but let me let Barbara talk
No.
first.
Personally, I think variety is the spice of life. I know that because I'm in Spice FM.
Until you are told not to.
No,
have
I
a
was
child.
no. I was. This man is
Barbara
mad.
can collapse.
Yes. Oh, and for me, intertribal marriages, they're not for everyone. That's what I think. They're not for everyone. It's not everyone's cup of tea. There are people who have strength for it. There are people who are cut out for it. And there are people who just need to marry their own. So it depends on where you're coming from. Just gauge it. Gauge it from your own personal view. But for me, I'm very open to that.
tell
I
you-
was married to someone who's not my tribe. And yes, I did face challenges. I will not lie because challenges do come. And let's not sugarcoat anything. It is not easy for some people. Some people it's a landslide. For some people it's just hard.
Speaking for myself, I didn't set out to. tribe wasn't really a factor for me.
Yes.
Like I never used to think in my head that I'm marrying from this tribe or I'm marrying from
You
this
just
tribe.
married a
Because
person.
me, I grew up basically in town all my life.
Yeah.
So it never ever occurred to me that that I can actually think of the tribe of the person who I'm supposed to marry. Like I didn't set out looking for a Bukusu woman because I'm a Bukusu man. But my mom, in our family, if you come to our get-togethers, you'll discover that my brothers are all married to people from different tribes.
That's nice.
There's no one who's married to the boys. There's no one who's married to a Bukusu girl.
Do you
So
still have-
since I was one of the youngest, my mom would be like, now you and your small brother are the only ones remaining. So I am depending on you. Like for her, it was a very,
And you let her down.
important thing. But you see, for me, I'm like, it's just one of those things that listen to her and say, hey, yes,
Why
you're
are you doing
depending
that?
on me? But for me, that is not a factor.
Yes.
However, once you get now into the marriage, you realize
Yes.
why she was thinking like that.
Yes.
Because they're very, very, very,
Very key.
Yeah, they're very key things.
Yeah,
Are very
they're very key
distinct.
difference.
One of the things I learned, Emmanuel, in my dating life, no, I'm not dating now, you can't rule out the impact of culture on people's behavior.
That's true.
You can never rule out. So I remember one time my girlfriend, I think in my early 20s, found me taking tea, black tea, and groundnuts. And she was really mesmerized. She said, look, how can you take something salty with...
But that's normal for where,
and
from
that's
where-
really
when you come
normal
from
where I
Western
come
region,
from,
yeah.
So we take tea and or even black coffee with
groundnuts.
groundnuts.
Yes.
So I think the importance of communicating the belief one has before tying the knot cannot be undertold. You really need to emphasize, and I think that's where a lot of our parents came from. Because my mother was always like, you're my only seed, you are my son. Don't embarrass me. Don't, Eric,
They
let
use
me not-
heavy words.
Let me not lose my child, Eric. Oh, Eric, let me not lose my child. Eric, let me not lose my child.
Eric, why is she that dramatic?
I swear. In fact, let me tell you how my mother told me about this tribalism.
Yes.
An intercultural thing. My mother was really ill. She'd just been in the ICU for a whooping 11 days, unconscious. And I was praying for her in the chapel and just, interceding and praying, God, please just bring her back.
Back, yeah.
So then on the 12th day, the doctor called me and said, you know what, she's actually recuperating really well. So much we're going to move her to the high dependency unit. So she was moved in the HDU for maybe 6 hours. Then the doctor called me again and unbelievable, you're taking her to the ward. I was like, what? So before the ward, I went to see her at the HDU. She asked for me because I was outside waiting.
Yeah.
Then she said, she used to call me Cisco for some strange reasons. Hi, Cisco. So I said, Mom, hi. Then she said, come closer, because her voice was weak.
Yes.
Then she said, don't marry from a different tribe.
Those
Those were her first words.
I hope you have heard what your mother said.
So I was like, what? She's like, you're my only seed. Don't embarrass. I was like,
Really?
you're just from a near death.
And that is the first thing that you think
And
about.
that's what she told me, right?
Yes.
So then much later when I, wheeled out of the hospital and went home, I told her, Mommy, what is the fundamental reason for
behind
this?
that.
And she's just like, you are my seed. I was like, no, let's leave
Yeah,
semantics.
Yes.
Like, what is your reason? She says, people are very different from us. There's a way I brought you up that I want you to continue bringing your kids up. So, but as you say, farther down the road as you grow older, you see the differences because they are very real.
Yes.
But you can navigate around
Actually,
them.
the differences are so real, leave alone the language barriers that we all have, and those are the common ones. Because even things like basic cooking,
Yes.
it's so evident.
Absolutely.
Yes, like I have a friend of mine, a gentleman, who got married to another friend of mine, a girlfriend. And their first year of marriage, it was chaotic. So the man would pass by our house to eat before he goes home. After 4 months, I think the wife found out. And then she told him, don't be eating in her house. So she called and scolded me. Why do you like cooking? And I had to explain to her, your food is bad. And it took before me going wrong.
I think the word
She comes from a culture where
maybe it's cooked differently.
Yes, the method of cooking and what they put on the table. This is a man from Western. Ugali is
Barbara,
key.
my wife used to cook a very soft ugali.
My
very
God.
soft and then she'd shape it into some round shape. I don't know how she
Like
used to
balls.
do that. So I'd be like, hey, this ugali, man. This ugali needs to be hard. So what happened was I took up cooking the ugali in my house. So as she cooks the other things.
Till now?
No, today, no, she's
improved. You
She's
see?
upped her game. Nowadays it's harder.
The way you're smiling, you must be happy.
You're hanging out to the adults in the room. This is 94.4 Spice FM. We're on a hot topic. which is
Is tribe a factor in marriage?
Yes.
And do intercultural relationships work?
That is absolutely right. Send us some of your feedbacks. We'll react to them at the top of the hour on 0719 012 600.
Chill Spice.
Yeah, you're hanging out with 94.4 Spice FM, and we are the adults in the room, the home of authentic conversation. I was going through Twitter and I was seeing some tweets. Some guys are saying, "Why are you guys talking a lot?" This is the home of authentic conversation, but it's also the home of soul music.
Yes, real them blues
Yeah.
and soul.
So we're going to have conversation all the way till 10, and then at 10 and going forward, we're going to have real soul music and R&B. My name is Emmanuel Kisiangani.
And that is absolutely right. This is talk radio at its best. Remember, Spice FM plays your absolute favorite 80s ballads and spicy soul jams. Spice also is the first radio coming live in visual format. What that means is that if you're in the office, or maybe you've stepped out of the country, you're somewhere in Angola or South Africa,
or Limpopo,
wherever else in Africa you may be, or whichever corner of the country you may be. I'm talking about Garissa, Lokicha, Wajir. You simply go to www.spicefm.co.ke. But if you're in Malindi and you're driving, heading home, in Watamu Town, Maweni, Shela, Barani, we are live and direct on 97.6. What about if you're in hardy areas of Karen, Lavington Green, Nyeri, all the way up in Gigiri? We are on 94.4. My name is Eric Omondi. This is the home of sugar and spice
and everything nice. My name is Barbara Mbaka, also known as the Duchess of Ikolomani. If you're not able to stream live, you can also plug into our social media handles at Spice FM KE on Facebook, Spice FM KE on Twitter, Spice FM KE on Instagram. And you can also call us at the top of the hour on 0719 012 600. That is 0719 012 600.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think about. Is tribe a factor in marriage, and do interracial relationships work?
Barbara, I was telling you a story before we went to the break about cooking a hard ugali.
Yes.
And I was, for those of you who've joined us, I was telling this gentleman and lady in the studio that my wife used to cook a very soft
and now she has improved.
No, she's improved, but I remember the way it used
the
to
level
be.
of hardness has not. It's not in the optimum best.
Once in a while, Emmanuel cooks his own ugali to get the maximum optimum.
But it's so
hardness.
weird the way it was actually okay. It wasn't that an issue, but it was something.
No, for you, it's how you were brought up.
I'd be like, "Where, bana? This ugali is too."
Add
soft."
some flour.
Yeah. And then the interesting thing is she had to learn, because in my culture, and even me, I know these things. She'd serve me with a chicken wing. And you see in my culture, us guys are not served with chicken wing.
Yeah, men don't do it.
Like,
They don't eat that.
This chicken wing is not for me, bana. Give me a drumstick. She's JK at
And the gizzard, Imondoya Papa.
Yeah, but so she's giving me chicken wing and a back.
You can, oh my God, you can't serve your husband.
Give me one drumstick, Mazi. So
it's
it's interesting.
I was dating my ex-girlfriend then. And we were deeply in love. I mean, we swam at the bottom of the sea, climbed the top of the mountains. However, when it came to food,
you had an issue.
This girlfriend of mine would quickly just slap some avocado on bread and then give me with tea. But if she'd go out of her way,
that's a snack.
She'd make mishiri. And then put some njahe. She used to love boiling njahe. In fact,
for those who don't know what mishiri is, that's French peas.
Oh, it's French peas.
Yes, French peas. And njahe is black beans, right?
Yes.
So she used to boil njahe perpetually. So my house was smelling of njahe all the
grains.
Time. Then she'd add water. So what I used to do, like your friend, because I didn't.
It's called soup.
Because I didn't have a friend who knew how to cook where I'd go to stay. So what I was doing, because I was staying in Westlands, I'd go to the Westlands market. Then I'd buy like quarter meat with ugali and eat at the market. Then you get a lot of soap.
You'd eat on your own.
Yes. Then I get a lot of soap and wash my hands for long. And I've even asked somebody, by the way, no. Inanuka sabuni. So I'm like, good.
Now you can go home.
Then I go home and I feign hunger, so I don't hurt her. So I'm like, So you were cooking. Then she brings that njahe
with the French peas, the misheries.
And then the tomatoes were dancing on top of the njahe. And some
it was
njahe were on top of water. Chicken njahe. So then I would eat painfully.
Why can't you just tell her?
So what I decided to do, because I could not continue suffering, I decided to now cook myself. So I went and bought vegetables and meat and then ugali, and then I made it for her. She was like, wow, 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 wow. So yes, there's
Babe,
a way
you
that
can't cook.
there's a way that food can be a challenge.
Yes.
The other thing I want to speak about is, you see, how people eat and when they eat is also a factor.
Yes.
My friend went for a burial in Nyanza, where I come from. And when they arrived, they were given githeri and porridge and tea and some bread.
Yeah.
So my friend ate to his satisfaction.
That's
he had
a
like
snack.
2 plates of whatever. Then after this, he went to lay down because he thought he's done for the day. Then they were woken up for now a meal. So the Luo community where I come from, when you go back home as a man, and I saw my mother do this for the longest time, what happens is you're given githeri and tea as you wait for
Like 4 o'clock tea.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can be given githeri, chapati, or even bread and tea and groundnuts.
Yes.
Okay, which has spread, not just
That
creams
also,
of bread.
it also resonates with my culture.
Yes. So now you eat that and then you wait for dinner. So dinner, again, as Luos, it's frowned upon to eat ugali and boga alone.
There has to be.
It has to be like me. If I eat ugali and boga, it has to have mayai and mala. Like
No, but you see, like in my
worst case scenario.
my eye is the bare minimum
No,
because
in-
I'll become very dull.
No, in my culture, mboga is chicken. When you say mboga, that's
Yes,
chicken.
yes.
Yeah.
So
So,
now this
mboga
thing-
is meat. So when
Like,
it's not greens.
I actually learned from Emmanuel that you can have ugali and vegetables alone.
Yeah, ugali na skuma.
That is very strange to me. Me, I can never eat that because I feel like now I'm in deep
He's now in
poverty.
poverty.
I'm in deep
But
poverty.
it's very normal
you
to eat
see-
like that.
So you see, that can be a very serious problem if
Yes.
you marry somebody
Yeah, that's true.
Who does not understand.
Like most of my Kikuyu friends, they tell me they hook up githeri and some warus for dinner. And it's laughable to me, checking me for dinner. Because that's what we eat for snack before you have
There was-
ugali,
There's a
maini
time one of my aunties came to visit and I was working late, so my help was I had help then who was not from my tribe. After that I learned, and not that I'm being tribal, but after that I learned that I need to get someone from my own community who would understand what I need to be cooked, the traditional vegetables, because the rest find it a bit taxing. So at that particular point I did not have help who was from my community. So when my aunties visited, she served them the same thing, maize and beans, githeri with what, and for dinner. So by the time I came back, and that was about 6:37, I find my auntie seated and telling me, "Hatujakula." So I'm so worried. I'm like, oh my God, it's 8. Why have people haven't eaten? I go to the kitchen. Then my nanny then says, but they've eaten. And I'm like, what did they eat? I was like, oh my God, we can eat that when we're in the city, but my aunties have to eat ugali.
Yeah.
Mboga, and
I
mboga
discovered-
is chicken.
Do you know
When you're,
this?
Yes,
when
it
you're,
is,
when
yeah,
you're, Eric, when you're,
cultures.
when you're marrying into a culture.
Yes.
Like I remember when there's once my wife's mom came because they live in Meru. Her parents live in Meru. So she came over to visit for a wedding in Nairobi. So she came to my place. Our house is not so big. Yes. So it's a 1-bedroom house. All right. So I told my wife, your mom will sleep up in the sitting room. On the floor because there's a mattress in the bedroom, an extra mattress. So she was quite upset. It was actually an issue. We were arguing in low tones up in the bedroom. Jackie, she cannot sleep. My mother. Jackie, me. Your mother cannot sleep on our
A matrimonial bed.
Jackie, why? What are the reasons? What are the... So it was actually a really...
And you see,
real
my culture,
argument.
your mother cannot.
Do you know if my I'm whispering. If my mom had that, she was even in my house
it will
at
be a
night,
problem.
it
Yes.
would be a problem. So
Yes.
listen, in our culture, it's not. But it was so hard for her to understand. So her mom is the one who called her to the sitting room and said, "Listen, I won't die sleeping over here. Just let me
Yes.
sleep over." And she's a modern lady anyway.
Yes.
But it was so interesting how it became a real fight.
Yeah.
In fact, this guy is looking at me shocked to the another story.
No, but actually, there's a time I was married to a Luo, and there's something I learned in the Luo culture that your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, when they visit, and you can correct me, when they visit, they cannot stay or sleep in your house.
Yes, they can't.
So I used to have to hire, pay for a hotel, and I used to get upset initially. I'm like, we have a big house, we have extra space. Why can this? Like I'm thinking, I have a guest house, I have everything. It's
No, they
self-contained.
can't
And
stay.
it took me a while to understand that it's not a matter of them refuse, it's just respect and culture. However much we are modernized, they will not adapt to that.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. And those are, you can talk about it and just sort of shoo it off and say, oh, you know, you can be as modern
Then
as
as you were, yes.
you can be as modern as a pie, but still, it's
Really
going to be
a pie?
a problem. Yes. So let me tell you a story, which I'm sure you guys are conversant with. Wamboi Otieno, you remember the lady?
Yeah.
Wamboi Otieno's wedding was a rare spectacle, as no member of the groom's side, Mr. Otieno, now the lawyer,
Yes.
attended the wedding.
Yes.
You know, they said Wamboi declined the bridal price, saying she didn't want to become a property. All right, and she didn't want to be owned by the Umira Kager clan. So later on, you know the story how Mr. Otieno passed on, but his wish was that he's buried in. Was it Ngong? He had a
Yes.
farm
Yeah,
in
Ngong,
Ngong.
yeah.
Yes.
So he said he wants to be buried in Ngong.
Yes.
So Wamboi was trying to adhere to the late husband's wishes.
Yes.
The Luo community refused. They said, no. This guy, with his sophistication and his upwardness and his, being culturally, rather modern attuned, we cannot let him be buried
At Ngong.
at Ngong. So they went to court. It was a messy affair.
Yes.
So now this propagated a lot of parents, especially from Mount Kenya region, to
Yes.
their daughters. And they said, Lucy, you can start telling us the way your boyfriend now is modern or you went to Harvard. But this guy, when they die, the community will take over and they're going
Yes.
to come and take your things.
Yeah,
And many
that's
people fear about that.
Yes.
That's spot on. Because you see, when you die, like I was having that discussion today at home. When you die, the community is actually what takes over the
Yes,
burial. Right?
yes,
Like
yes.
for instance, me, I'm married to a lady who's Meru.
Yes.
Will I bury her according? Okay, God forbid. In future, after I've planned for the future, will I bury according to Meru culture? Or will I bury her according
My
to
friend
Luhya
You
Barbara-
culture?
will bury according to Luhya culture.
Barbara, a friend of mine, was married to a lovely Kikuyu lady, and also an Omso lady, and then she got an accident and passed on. So we had to go all the way to Dagoretti to say Pole. And the first thing the elders said in Dagoretti, they said, kile tunaomba ni tusipeleke msichani yetu Nyaruguga, tutatafuta mahali hapa. And I was just like, good Lord. So they were very uncomfortable
Yes.
with the idea of taking. So my friend had to say, you know what, no pressure. We're going to look for some nice place in Langata. So you can think about it in a very not so
No,
big
I'll-
of a deal terms,
Yes.
but later
But
on
I'll give a story. This happened to us last month in my family.
Yes.
One of my cousin is married from the central region.
yes.
Unfortunately, my wife's cousin passed away and left. Yeah. Rest in peace. So when she passed away, the family, you know, like after when we all knew we were traveling to the village
Yes.
to go for the funeral and all. 3 days before that actually happened, the family came in and they were like, "You did not finish your what is they called, labola,
Yes,
dowry."
yes, dowry, yes.
And we were like, okay. My folks were like, okay, we will pay. They were like, no, we don't take dowry for the dead. So, you know, like we're thinking, okay, what do you mean by that? We can always, you know, in our culture, yes,
Yes.
they totally refused. And there was a back and forth. And remember, my dad actually and my uncles put their foot down and they said, we have reached an era where we are not going to fight for dead bodies. We need to stop that. We need to get out of that. Look, you know, because people in Western are known to fight. Oh yeah, we'll keep the body. So we prayed about it. They slept about it. And for the rest of us wanted to travel the next day. On waking up in the morning, my in-laws from the Western region, Central region, had gone to the mortuary, picked the body without our consent. Remember, we think we are burying on Saturday. So on Friday, they picked the body. They told us they came for the last respect. And they were like, they're not going to allow their daughter to be married to be buried because one, we didn't finish
The
dowry.
dowry.
And I'm like, why would we get to that level?
Yeah.
And they told us the letters, no, they will communicate on the burial date.
Good Lord.
Up
And they
to
went
date,
to the bed body.
they went to and this lady had
That
a
is
child.
crazy.
Up to now, we don't even know if she was buried or not because they never told us anything. So yes, as much as we say, and I do agree, tribe is not a factor.
Yeah.
Yes, you can love, but
But it's
as
very
you're getting
important.
in love or you're getting mixed up in all this, you need to try and sit down and accept each other for the cultures that you have.
You're hanging out to the adults in the room. This is 94.4 Spice FM, the home of authentic conversations. We're having a very good time in our studio, and we are discussing a hot topic, which is
tribe a factor in marriage is tribe a factor in marriage, and do intercultural relationships work?
you have said it very well, Barbara, and we're going to be back after this very short message.
How well do you know your country? Given a chance, where would you go? Not so many places, huh? Would you even know how to get there? Yes? No? Maybe? I don't know. Well, oh ye gallivanters and tourists alike, here is your chance to not only know, but also visit amazing destinations in Kenya with complete recommendations, guides, and tips on accommodation spots, wellness stops, and food joints all over Kenya. How, you ask? Courtesy of the biggest locally targeted tours and travel magazine, Travelogue. Travelogue is your monthly pull-out magazine in the Standard newspaper every first Thursday of the month. With Travelogue, enjoy the beauty of life that Kenya has to offer. Visit exotic and hidden destinations, be part of amazing conservation campaigns and projects as you simply enjoy Kenya. It's our way of putting Kenya on the map. Grab your copy and be aboard the fun wagon as you improve the quality of your local travel experiences. Travelogue, Jione Kenya.
Welcome to Spice FM, the best exclusive radio station bringing you the best mix of the best music ever.
Yeah, you're tuned into 94.4 Spice FM. You're hanging out with the adults in the room. My name is Emmanuel Kisengani, and we're having an awesome time in the studio. If you've just joined us, welcome, Karibu Sana. This is 94.4 Spice FM. If you're in Kitusuru, if you're in Muthaiga, if you're on Thika Road, Roysambu, the signal is right there on 94.4 Spice FM.
That is absolutely right. Remember, you're tuned in to the 80s ballads and home of spicy soul jams, sugar and spice, and everything nice. Listen, if you're all the way down at the coast, a county I love, in the areas of Changamwe, Jomvu, Kisauni, Nyali, Likoni, and Vita, we are live and direct on 87.9. What if you are in Nakuru or the environs, Molo, Njoro, Maimahio, and Narok areas? Worry not, just simply go to 96.0. Remember, we are also live and direct in the great county of Eldoret on 96.7 and its environs, which is Kapsabet, Kapenguria, Nandi County. Also, wherever you are in Africa and the entire and great Republic of Kenya, remember, Spice FM is the first radio coming alive in visual format. What that means is you simply stream live on www.spicefm.co.ke, and not only will you get to see us, but hear us. My name is Eric Omondi, and you're on the adults in the room.
And I am Barbara Mbaka, also known as the Duchess of Ikolomani. If you're in the Nairobi environs, that is Kitengela, Ngong, Ruai, Ruaka, Kiambu, and a bit of Kiambu County, you can tune in on 94.4. If you're in Eldoret, that is 96.7. If you're in Kisumu, Kisii, and Kakamega County, that is 102.5. And also, if you want to plug into the social media handles, if you want to plug into the conversation, plug in the conversation through our social media handles, that is Spice FM KE on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Let us know what you think about is tribe a factor in marriage and intercultural relationships work?
Yeah, and when it gets to 8:45, we're going to pick one phone call just to open the floor and get to hear what the listeners have to say. Yes. So are you guys scaring people from marrying
Not at all.
No, I think the importance of communicating the belief of one's tribe and what is expected of them is very important. This conversation has reminded me of a lady, lady from Mount Kenya region. The lady had a child, and while she had a child from a previous relationship, she got deep in love with a Luya gentleman, with whom together they had 4 other children. So in total, she had how many kids, Emmanuel?
5.
You are a lad, good boy. So
you're being nasty.
So later on, as life would have it, they annulled their marriage because of the this and that of relationships. To this lady's shock, all right, when she was trying to get custody of her 5 children, as our great ladies from Mount Kenya would, this lawyer man took not only his 4 biological children,
but
he
even
also took the 5th one.
He took her child.
Yes. I'm telling you, that lady had a very poor defense.
Yes.
Her lawyers were doing a bad job.
It's a story that has been going on in the papers, and I think the Standard featured it.
Yes.
And still, the guy has custody of all her 5 children. The one she came with, plus the other 4.
So what's the story?
Never! I'll fight for my kids.
Lawyers.
Okay, lawyers believe
there are dialects in
Yes.
Luya that do not believe that a child should live.
Not dialects, actually all lawyers.
All lawyers.
Yes.
But Emmanuel doesn't seem to know.
No, I remember my dad saying that if someone says it's your child, unamchukua tu.
Yes.
Yes.
We just take them.
Yes.
What?
yeah. So you have to be very cognizant of that fact.
But this also reminds me, this conversation, when I was doing my master's, there's a paper we had to do on an assignment by M.M. Morris, when it was about intercultural, intertribal, interracial relationships.
All right.
And the four things that M.M. Morris was saying, that there are personal factors. Before you get into that relationship, sit down with your spouse, because it was an assignment.
Yes.
Personal factors, look into that. And majority of us just ignore the role of the culture, the role of individualism, yes, that, and the relationship satisfactory. Are you able to withstand these factors that come about? Your family cultures, your relatives, because sometimes some cultures are very unwelcoming.
Yes, because
to the wife.
Barbara, one of the family cultures, especially, because there was once I dated some low lady.
Yes.
And I remember one of the cultures is the firstborn. Once you've educated the firstborn, Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, you're the mantle of taking care of the rest of the family lies squarely on your shoulders.
Sweetheart, that is black tax.
So she would be called with a lot of confidence and
Yes.
authority by the mom and say, "Well, Bana, what are you doing? We don't have meat here." And she would have to send money for meat.
Yeah, well, lures can be a bit intense in terms of that department.
Yes, that's true.
There's a lot of kitu yako ni kitu yetu.
Yes.
For lack of an English
Actually, it's
word.
not only lures. I think it cuts across some cultures.
Yes, and it slightly marries into black tax, so that
Yes.
in fact, if you're unlucky to find a very primitive family and something happens to you, somebody is going to come and take your couch and your suits while your wife is there.
My point is, now if you're married, say now, to a man who's from the Luo community, for example, because not all of them are like that,
Yes.
you'd have to know that this guy may have the burden of taking care of the whole family.
Now, let me give you an example. When sometimes I think we try and equate ourselves or minus ourselves from our cultures, which is very wrong. I'll give an example of the late Ken Okoth. However much he was learned and he married a white lady, and forgive me if I'm using the wrong example, you remember when he wanted to be cremated and his family actually refused. It's like, and when that action actually happened, it was, they took an offense about it. So sometimes, however much you're learned or modern, there are certain things that just follow you.
No, you're right.
They just follow you. You need
You're
to
right in
discuss
saying-
with your spouse. It takes us back to what Eric was saying. Have you planned for the worst?
Yeah.
You know, when we say about death, majority of us think about the physical death.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes it's not the physical death. When you say death of a marriage, it could be you dissolved your marriage, you have fallen out of love. You know, one of those things happen. Don't look
It's
at me like that. You're
it's
not
18 children popping up out of nowhere who you didn't know exists. Yes,
exactly, yes, 18 children. So those are the things, the death. I think, as Eric said, initially I was not for it, but we need to plan for certain things.
You have to.
And you have to be ready for it. So if you, in such a relationship, enlighten your spouse. Tell them, where I come from, this happened, so you need to behave like this.
One of my best friends up in Madaraka Estate is an entrepreneur.
Yes.
He comes up from Ruai. He's a Kikuyu man. All right. So he spends a lot of time in his business. A lot of time. In fact, like he gets to his he has a cow. So after he milks his cow at 4 a.m., he dashes with the milk to Mada, and then now he distributes it to the houses. Then now he goes and opens his shop. He has like 3 shops in Mada. I'm not even exaggerating. And then after that, he at the end of the day, he goes home at around 10, 11 there. That's when now he's leaving to go home. So I'm like, you guy, your wife does not. In fact, one of the things I do when I'm arguing with my wife is like, I'm not like that guy in Mada, that palo, right? You have an excellent guy who comes home early. But he's been brought up in a culture where, as a husband, his primary role is to provide money.
Yes.
You see?
And they do that well.
His primary role is not to hang out with you the whole day. If you need something, he'll send you money for making your hair, feeding the kids, paying school fees. But his primary role is not to sit down with you, to cuddle you. It's just to provide
it's just
for your needs.
It's only monetary, and then you go out.
But
it's funny. It's funny you say that. One of the things, these not being keen about intercultural marriages.
Yes.
Another conflict that can be provoked is even something as simple as etiquette, or even naming your kids.
Yes.
You know, because there are cultures that believe that, look, us, we name them after the mother.
Yes.
And then you're there saying, no, bana, muchukua 13. So it can become.
I also got into trouble with that naming at some point,
Yes.
because I was married in a culture where in a culture where you needed to name after the same way you're saying.
Yes.
Name after so and so, name after so. And I in my belief, because of the faith I profess, I believe there's power in naming. So you just don't randomly name a child. You could be naming Witch Doctor or Night Runner.
That is true.
And the thing, I know maybe I'm paranoid about it, but I believe there's power in names.
So
So I just don't name.
Your daughter is called Blessing.
Yes.
Mbaka.
No, not Blessing Mbaka.
Happiness Mbaka.
Howie. Crystal Howie. And not Crystal with a C, but with a K, which means Christ follower. That's Greek.
But
Anyway,
you see,
sorry for another day.
Barbara, you're right,
Yes.
because these problems may not just arise with your spouse, but also his or her parents.
Yes, and they
Because
yes.
they'll come and say, "Huyu ni Agnes Churutu." You're like, who?
Who?
Agnes Churutu. Agnes, I'll tell you about Agnes. Agnes, when we were little, running around, we laughed Agnes. Call her Agnes. Then they're like, no, I don't want Agnes. And then it becomes...
And that's why you find some kids have like 6 names.
Yeah.
Because this lady wants to call this. Yes, you've never seen that.
Yeah, that's
I have friends who have their kids have 6 to 5 names because of such problems. I think those are some of the common issues that you need to settle or just be open to talk about.
The thing you brought up, which is also a big, can cause a lot of problems if you don't interrogate well, is religion. You say you profess
Yes.
some faith. You know, we can say we are both Christians, but what kind of Christians are we?
Yes.
Like
Are
you are SDA, and me say I'm a Pentecostal.
Yeah.
So now you want my kids to go to SDA on Saturday, where you're fighting with your land stories. And then now
Really?
me,
Eric, that was one of.
and then now me, I want my kids say to go to Catholic.
Yes.
All right? So it can become a very serious bone of contention. So I think that's why I was saying once on this show, you need to ask 1,000 questions. And I remember Barbara frowning and saying, Eric, you're too much with your questions. But you see now how these things come to play. Because you are saying,
Okay,
oh, are you a Christian?
it is.
I tell you
It
what,
is
Eric.
debatable. I am partially agreeing with you, Eric.
I tell
Just
you-
smile.
I tell you, Derek, even apart from religion and
Yes.
saying you're a Christian or whatever, there are some cultures which you have in your culture which are normal to you. Which me, if I come and see you guys doing it, I'll say, "Hey, these
Yes.
guys are they're practicing
Yes.
witchcraft." All right,
Sorry.
like in Meru, my wife told me some of the owners of the Mira farms they roga the farm.
What is wrong?
Such
with you?
that if you come and steal the mirror, you're gonna go nuts.
You mean Roga witchcraft?
Yes.
But that's
As in-
witchcraft. That's
No,
not-
as in, to them, when you go there and see
And
them
steal.
doing it, to them it's normal.
I think the one that
You
I
see?
can equate to what you're saying, I once was hanging out with a friend of mine in he's Zambian when we were in South Africa, and he was very gracious. He invited me over for dinner. So when we were eating pap ugali, in his custom, you have to pinch pap on top of the table, then put your hand under the table and make a shape,
Excuse me?
and then you tomoa your
What are you
hand.
putting your hand under the table for?
That's their culture.
Okay, that's
So you have to
crazy.
pinch. You have to pinch the pap, remove your hand, put it under the table, make a shape, then bring, and now you nyolo it. Nyolo is Greek for eat. So you know the way I don't know if you have this in Luya. Luas are that thing called spoya. You
will-
make
a
hole
spoon like a hole on the
for
ugali.
chota in the soup.
Yes.
Kisengani, do you have that in Luya?
Yes,
you
as we
do
do.
that.
Yeah,
thing?
you
Yeah.
dunga,
You do
make
Yeah.
a shape over,
you just
with your thumb.
Yeah, with your
Yes.
thumb. So you make a deep hole for the soup. So now this Zambian tribe, you pinch it, then everybody had a different shape, and I was mesmerized. So they were like, "Try it."
So you're
try
wondering
it.
what they're
And
doing.
it's-
over
it's
there.
normal
So they
for
told
them.
me, "Try it. No, don't pinch and eat. No,
Yeah,
no.
those,
pinch." So it looked like witchcraft,
Yes.
but that's their culture.
Yeah.
It reminds me of once I went for an introduction and was part of the bride's team. And when the elderly, it's like they bless you, they spit on you. And I remember I
Which
was
part of me are you spitting on?
on my head. So I remember when we were in line, so they spit on the
Like
bride.
saliva.
Yes. So every time it would reach, I would go behind the next person. I would go. So it reached somewhere. The mother of the bride who knew me, she told me, "Barbara, you can't do that," because they'd noticed. And this old man comes,
I
spits on you.
don't
This
want
one
that.
spits
How
on, and I'm
much-
like,
how
and I
much-
would go round
Barbara,
and go round. Oh,
How
God.
much saliva does this old man have?
Eric, content, even if it's dots, I didn't want
No,
it.
I will
I have a very
completely-
sensitive skin.
I would completely reject
But
that
you see,
blessing.
it was their culture, and I remember I left there. I think at the end of it, I was spitted on. If that is English,
spat on.
spat,
Yeah,
sorry.
spat on, yeah.
And I was so upset. I remember I was very disgusted, and you could see on the photos
Yikes.
for about the first 30 minutes before I could actually understand why would someone agree to this.
Barbara Paulison, remember you're hanging out with the adults in the
Yikes.
room, and the question we're having on the hot topic is tribe a factor in marriage, and do intercultural marriages work? And we're going to take a phone call between now and the top of the hour just to get to see what the listeners are reacting to this particular topic.
Let me give them
which
the
is-
number. That
yeah.
is 0719-012-600. That is 0719-02600. Let us know what you think about the hot topic.
You're hanging out with the adults in the room on 94.4 Spice FM. Don't touch that dial. Barbara, there's a video I came across, and I'm going to play it for you. I just want to remind guys that you're tuned into 94.4 Spice FM. You're hanging out with the adults in the room, and we're going to take a phone call between now and the top of the hour. But as usual, I'm hanging out here with my favorite people.
Absolutely, that's right. My name is Eric Omondi, and you're on the adults in the room. Remember, this is the home of all your absolute favorite 80s ballads and your spicy soul jams. Sugar and spice.
And everything nice.
Everything nice. We are the adults in the room, and if you're in Nakuru, we welcome you on 96.0. What if you're in Mombasa? Worry not, we are on 87.9. And in Eldoret, we are on 96.7. And if you're streaming live, you know what to do. It's www.spicefm.co.ke.
And if you're in Kisumu, that is 102.5. If you are in Nairobi environs, that is Ruaka, Parklands, Kitengela, Utawala, that is 94.4. And if you're able to plug into the social media handles are Spice FM KE on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Let us know what you think is tribal factor in marriage and do interracial relationships work. You can also call us on 0719 012 600. That is 0719 02 600.
Barbara, I was telling you there's a video I came across,
Yes.
and if you're streaming live, you can see the video. If you're not streaming live, don't worry, you're going to hear the audio about interracial marriages, like people who are you see, in Kenya, we have tribes. Abroad, they operate in races, you know.
And color.
Yeah, in color. So there's a video I came across about the challenges the interracial couples go through in their countries, and I thought I'd share it. Just listen to this.
Well,
yeah, man.
I like that video.
Yeah, it's deep, huh?
Yes.
It's deep. Like, why should you be? Why should I be a guy who's married to a mirror? Why can't I just be
A guy who was married to some chick?
Yeah, who's some chick.
Yeah.
But as you've seen, it's a factor globally, man.
It is
Yes,
a factor
factor.
globally. I remember it just reminded me of Mr. Lucky Dube. Different colors.
Yeah,
one
White people.
Yes. So totally right. But I think also, having said that, it's important to have this conversation.
Yes.
I remember a gentleman I was reading a while back. He was from the Igbo tribe of Nigeria. By the way, a lot of Nigerians think I'm Nigerian. Every time I travel, the last time I was in Qatar, we were being shuttled to, we were being moved from the airport to where we were staying because I was going to New York.
You're in transit?
And this lady kept looking at me. She had sat in the front and I was at the back. She was like, so I said, I'm sorry, ma'am. She said, so I said, I'm sorry, but I don't.
She thought you related?
I don't understand. My name is Eric Omondi and I'm from Kenya. So she said, you know, Nigerian language is quite violent.
Yes.
To the ear.
No, it's not violent. Just how the intonation is.
So I said, I'm so sorry, ma'am. Like, I really can't understand.
Yeah.
And then I pulled out my passport and said, look, I'm from Kenya. She said, you're lying. Look at your nose. You are Igbo man. You are a Igbo man.
I think maybe it's your
like it or not.
structure.
Maybe you should check your family tree.
So I said to her, really, ma'am, I'm not. I'm from Kenya. My name is Eric Omondi. She said, you think Nigerian cannot be anything? Nigerian can be Moscow. Nigerian can be English man. Nigerian can be even Ghanaian man. You are Igbo. So I really had a difficult time. Anyway, the Igbo tribe have all these tiffs around, marrying Yoruba.
Yes.
And what
Actually, yeah, they have
some, thing going. And one time I was reading that difference in mode of dressing, the question of modesty, colors, and even tissue is a big issue in the Great Republic of Nigeria.
Yes.
Because men in Nigeria, especially Igbo Yoruba men,
Yes.
can request their wives to dress up the way that is acceptable in their culture. So that if you're voluptuous,
Yes.
like you're like Barbara, your husband can request, and that's why I keep asking you, would you tone down your very nice dresses to
And
a
she
very
said
long one?
never.
And she said never. So you see,
If I'm on the coast, maybe I
So
can
you-
tone down to be lower.
So if you're married to a Yoruba or an Igbo man, they are very insistent on issues surrounding conservatism and just subtle modesty. They're not very big on elaborate showing of
Yeah.
your thighs or your hips
Hips,
and
yeah.
that sort of thing. So dressing can also be an issue.
True.
Yeah, that's true. That is why my goal is to buy for Barbara kitenge. By the time we're done with this year.
I'm so tired with that
Barbara
kitenge of yours.
will really
What makes you
be
think I don't have a kitenge? I wear it on Sunday.
All right. I'd like to see that picture. Remember, the number is 0719012600. We're going to pick a call between now and the top of the hour. The number is 0719012600. Call in and tell us what you think. There's actually a call coming in. Maybe we can pick it.
Is there a call? And I just wanted to reiterate that we are discussing whether tribe is a factor in marriage and do intercultural Kisi Kikuyu, Kikuyu Meru in relationships work.
All right. Let's pick this phone call. Hello, 94.4 Spice FM. You're on the air.
Yeah.
Hi, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Oxalis Acastas. I'm calling from Nandi County.
Oxalis Augustus.
Oxalis, how are
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Oxalis, we need to give you a Spice FM Adults in the Room t-shirt.
Yeah, I need it.
Yes.
Karibu sana Oxalis. How are you? How's your weekend?
My weekend was very nice.
No, fantastic.
Let us know what you think about the conversation.
Yeah, I think in the tribal marriage has great impact on marriage. Since, like for example, in my culture, when we are initiating,
Can we ask which culture is that?
when we are undergoing initiation ceremony,
Yeah.
we are being taught so many things concerning marriage. For example, we are told we are not supposed to marry from another tribe.
All right.
Oh, you're told that during initiation?
Yeah.
What reasons do they give, Oxalis?
Like, for example, we are told, I don't know if it is true, but we are told that, like, for example, other tribes, like, because I'm a Kalenjin, other tribes like Luo maybe have some witchcraft, maybe such things.
Yes.
So the issue is how you are going to treat each other after getting married.
All right.
So the question is, Oxalis, does it affect the people? Like, does it make it hard for you to marry from another tribe?
Yeah, it's very hard. It's very complicated, in fact. But for me, because I'm learned, for me it doesn't have any issue about that.
So have you married across the border?
No, not yet.
All the best then. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting. Those some of the things we're talking about.
And they start very early.
How your culture is spread from this oral literature.
Yes.
Like you're orally told not to do X, not to do Y. But it's so interesting how you're told those things, but it has a subliminal effect in that you'll just hear them telling you. But now when you go to your own house and you're served a chicken wing, you get upset.
Yes, I think we have those ramifications for before marriage and after marriage. The before marriage, I think some of them are either obstacles or stereotypes. And then when during the marriage is when some of them you actually actualize some of these things.
That is very interesting. Are you picking a call? No. I just wanted to say, look, so the things like language, I remember a friend of mine told me a very funny story. Not funny, haha, but it was weird. I really went and, in fact, I looked into the horizon for a good 63 minutes. Because
You know
I was
that's over
perplexed.
1 hour.
Yes. So my friend, who is actually in the same age group as I, said after being married, maybe not the same age group, slightly older, he'd been married to this lady for over 11 years, a very nice Kamba lady. So he said the reason he's decided to marry a second wife is because he needs somebody who can speak his dialect
Are you
or
serious?
his mother tongue with.
What's
So
with
it's like
that?
when you're dating and then after marrying and getting 2 whole boys, you didn't
11
think-
years later.
You didn't think you needed to understand your dialect. But
Maybe that guy has bad manners, Ama.
No, but there are people who are actually very serious about
like
you knowing their
honestly, that
language.
is
They
because-
find it offensive if you don't.
like one of the things I have, again, from a situationship I was in, I was really tired of speaking in English at 3 a.m. with this white lady I was in a situationship with. So she'd wake up and start talking about the temperature of the room. Oh my God, it's just very sad. It's sort of humid. So I'd had to mutter all the English So I'm like, that would be totally right because, and it was strenuous.
Oh, you're
And
tired.
you were tired. You just
Can you
felt
imagine
like,
speaking English at 3:42 a.m.
and you want to
English.
and you want to speak Swahili.
And you want to, not even Swahili.
you just don't want to speak.
So what happened?
So
You started
that
relating with that
day, I started feeling I was like, hey, could this be the reason? 'Cause
There's too much
if I
English
was
going on
if I
around
was
here.
to do forever of speaking in English and Swahili, it can be a challenge.
But I think you have to work around it. Like at my place, if I get tired of the home ugali, I just go to town to a place where they cook the ugali that I want.
The hard one.
Yes, then I go and eat it. Then I'm like,
Mrs. Kisiangani, I'm very sorry you had to hear that.
no, honestly. And even her, sometimes she just gets tired. She goes somewhere and eats her githeri with carrots inside. You know, she just
Yeah, because you don't want your githeri with carrots.
Because me, I don't like when I don't like my ugali being boiled with a potato inside. It
What do you
really affects
mean?
me.
What do you mean by
Like I
ugali?
need, you see there you can boil both meat and potatoes at the same time. As in, I really don't
Mashakura,
like that. So I'm
mashakura.
like, you boil this potato on the side, and
Then you
make-
cook the meat on the
Yeah.
side.
So instead of going to marry another chick who can make an ugali, I can go to town and
Yeah, you compromise.
I think Phil just got tired of speaking in English at 3 a.m. It can be tough.
But you need to understand that certain ramifications come after these relationships. So as much as yes, I do support doing intertribal, interracial, or intercultural, wherever, but just be open-minded on
When you're
what
going in,
yes,
right?
yes, and talk to each other because you can really get shocked. I remember I still hate making omena. But not in a bad way. I hate the smell of it. Yeah. Okay, maybe hate is a very strong word. I dislike. I don't know, the smell of it just puts me off. I can even throw up.
Maybe now it just reminds you of your divorce.
No, it doesn't. I can't even
during the marriage.
Even during the marriage, and we came to a compromise that we will not cook it. You can eat it at home at your mother's. You know.
All right.
Because it was not my thing.
That's very interesting.
You're hanging out with the adults in the room. This is 94.4 Spice FM, and I'm hanging out with my buddies.
Absolutely. My name is Eric Omondi. Listen, we are expecting all of your feedback about the conversation we are having today. Remember, we're talking about is tribal factor in marriage and do intercultural relationships work? The number to call is 0719-012-600.
I'll plug into a social media that is Spice FM KE on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Let me repeat that. Spice FM KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Let us know what you think about the hot topic.
Stop. This is Spice
Adults in
FM.
the room. My name is Emmanuel Kisiangani, and this is 94.4 Spice FM. A big shout out from my producer Mombi, who I can hear very clearly. Mombi, I hope one day we're going to put a picture of you so that people can see
Oh,
you.
yes.
And,
Lovely
they know
lady there.
Our super producer. These are the adults in the room. And you're hanging out with Emmanuel Kisiangani, 94.4 Spice FM.
That is absolutely right. If you're in Shabab area, Kitty, section 58, Kiamonye, Nakuru, we are live in direct. If you're in the Langa Langa area at 96.0, Lordwa Town, Turkana County, Lokichar, Lokari, Kakuma, Garissa. Tune in online at www.spicefm.co.ke. This is the home of your absolute 80s ballads and your very, very, very loved spicy soul jams. Remember, Spice FM is the first radio coming alive in visual format. My name is Eric Omondi.
And I am Barbara Mbaka, also known as the Duchess of Money. Plug into our social media handles, our platform, that is Spice FM KE. Let us know what you think about the hot topic. I'll be reading some of them and sampling. Let me start by a gentleman who is called Joseph Kangola, who says there are some cultures contrary to the cultures you grew up in, such that if you get married there, you will never be happy. Let's face it. Also, in some families, you will never be received if you come in from a certain tribe, especially if it does not agree with the tribe politically.
All right, that is very interesting.
That is very strong.
Very strong.
And
remember,
true.
remember, we are taking your calls for an entire hour. The number to call is 0719 012 600 0719 012 600. Give us some of your thoughts about what we are discussing today. We are talking in detail and in part, and we want to hear all of your feedback about, is tribe a factor in marriage, and do intercultural relationships work?
Yeah, man, there's a friend of mine called Shaz who's tweeted me, and she says, Emmanuel, answer the question in caps, yes or no to toys. I think... why is she
Thank you, Shaz. I tried getting him to answer. He refused.
Why is she taking us back? We are now on the hot topic. We are not...
Shaz, I'll make sure he answers that before we go off
It's
air.
time to receive phone calls, and this place is yellow, man. That means people are calling in. Let's take a phone call.
Absolutely.
Why not?
94.4 Spice FM, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name? Ah, man, we've lost her, man.
Oh,
She just
shame.
said hello and she's gone.
Oh, sorry.
Let's try someone else. So, hello, 94.4 Spice FM, you're on the air. Hello.
Spice FM, this is Oruko again from Mombasa.
Ruko.
Yeah, you are loud and clear on 87.9 Mombasa.
Karibu sana. Salamia, Barbara and Eric.
Hi, Ruko.
Hi, Rico.
I'm good, Barbara. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Let us know what you think.
First, my greetings to Eric.
Eric, umesalimiwa sana?
Nashukuru sana Ruko, karibu sana katika adults in the room. How is it going at the coast?
Of course, it's fine. Just a little bit rainy, but it's fine. You people should come down here. We see Radio Maisha, Radio what, but
We will definitely
Soon we'll be there.
definitely come there. What
please do. We should do a lot of publicization because you are conducting something that is really pertinent to the society right now.
Let me tell you, Eric cannot miss the one for Mombasa.
He can miss anywhere, but the road show from Mombasa or Malindi, he will be there. Let us know
I'm
what you
waiting
think
for
about the
you.
conversation. Sorry?
The conversation is a bit mixed up because we are talking about tribe and culture at the same time,
Yes.
whereas these are two things that ought to be separate. When we are talking about tribe, I may say that, like for me, okay, I'm married to a Taita. Let me tell you, by the way, my friend Eric, I'm from Bondo, Sia side.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you should walk down this side.
Yes.
And mashallah, I tell you,
He's not
the
ready.
children...
No,
Yeah.
I'll come. It's funny you say that. There's a time I was driving in Mwatate, and at a time of my life, my neck was sore because
Because he was turning his head.
So I agree with you.
Yeah, you should have seen Kinawakio. So the children are so good.
Yes.
But my parents didn't take it lightly. They asked me, now you are lost. The Taita ladies marry men, things like that. You see, that stereotypes that are attached to certain cultures or certain tribes, just as you have put it, maybe based on political inclinations
Alignment,
and what have you.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
alignment.
yes.
So my idea is that marriage is practically an agreement between two people. So the two people involved should really be open-minded about their cultural beliefs and values and share independently. I'm not against racial marriages or intercultural marriages because it's working out for me. Why not for you, my brother Eric?
That is good. Thank you so much, Aruko, for the encouragement.
Thank you, Ruko,
Thank you.
and thank you so much for tuning into Spice FM. It's
Yeah.
always nice to hear from you.
So, Eric, you've gotten a reference of the areas where you can be doing
Really, Emmanuel?
reconnaissance. Taita area. Let's pick another phone call. Spice FM, hello, you're on the air. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from? Okay, we've lost that one. Let's try another one. Hello, Spice FM, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, I'm Rafael.
What's your name again?
I'm Rafael from Eldoret.
Oh,
Yes,
Karibu
Rafael.
sana Rafael.
Baria Mini.
Salama
Salama.
sana. Raphael, welcome to the show. We are the adults in the room. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Me, I'm talking about the topic of today about culture and marriage. Yeah?
Yes.
You know, in most cases, most people, like for us here as Kalenjins, yeah? Kalenjins always like getting married to their own daughters or something like that. Why?
Yes.
Because you find some ladies, especially the Kalenjins people, ladies, believe that their ladies are maybe respectful and they don't have to think of, like for example, other traits like Kamba, maybe you find that unajua ile stuff ya kukaliwa, unasema mtu anaambia umekaliwa chapati. Understand that thing?
Yes.
So you find other people saying, no, these people wanataka kuofarul kama msea boma, something like that.
Yes.
So you find that in most cases, people like their own tribe, especially. But me, I always say that it doesn't make that sense, because me, for once, I once dated a Luya, and I feel it was nice.
Yeah, it was, It was,
Yeah, it was nice with me.
With the farm ugali that Barbara can put together, I would also consider. I would totally consider Luya.
So it depends with whom you are with. Wanasemanga mtoto uleavyo ndo akuavyo, get.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you don't bring up your daughter or your son in a proper man, and then it's like still, many of the people are believing that culture to be cultured out with the culture. That's obviously for last. If you love somebody, does it.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much for calling, brother.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Gentlemen, allow me to contribute slightly on that. I felt...
Especially the Luya point.
No, the Luya point. The Luya point. That is standard. Yes. Anyway, I beg to differ, and it's debatable what the gentleman said, that there are certain ladies of certain culture that wanawakalia was there. I think that's a stereotype. If a woman is actually... I don't know if sitting is the correct word to phrase. I think it's a personal thing.
Sitting on you.
Yes, sitting on you. Mwanamke ambaye anakalia, it does not mean she's from a particular tribe, but maybe
it's her personality.
Yeah, it's a personality. So I really do not agree with him. And that's why I said it's debatable, depending on the tribe that he mentioned.
Yeah.
So it could be even a Luya lady could do the same.
Yeah,
or
true.
a Luya or a Kalenjin, anyone
you look
could.
like you can sit on somebody properly.
I will sit on you properly.
I think
jokes aside.
I think so that we don't come across, or rather so that I don't come across as though I'm propagating, or rather I'm going against the need or the two people from different tribes coming together.
Yes.
There is need to educate oneself. I think it's very important that people need to read more about communities and their customs and why they practice them.
So it's so you get an informed, you know what you're getting into.
I once took my girlfriend then to Kisumu. Well, I've been to Kisumu maybe twice.
Are you serious?
Yeah, twice, properly as an adult.
Yes.
I don't know Kisumu well.
But you know Malindi.
I plan to go more. So we went to some place and there was ice cream. And she was literally in shock. She called her mother and her cousin. She's like, "Mommy, imagine we're gonna ice cream." And
ice cream?
What? Budalangi.
Where in the town?
Yes, she thought.
That is normal.
She thought Kisumu was Budalangi.
But even Budalangi have ice cream.
And the Budalangi.
And there are very good hotels there.
Yes, and the Budalangi she had seen on the news was houses floating.
The ones for tunaomba serikali.
Yeah, so what happened was, we took one of these bicycles. And we were riding around with bikes, and she completely loved it. The same lady, when dating her, she used to tell me that her perception of Luo men, she was told that we are short, dark-skinned, and get angry very fast. Mama liniambia, like you guys get really upset and you start throwing stones. So that's her perception.
Based on the Gormaya?
Yeah. I don't know where she got that from. So much that when I went to visit her in Nyeri, her mother was saying, like this guy. Because people are not informed about what people are like. They don't think that there is a tall Luo and one who maybe does not say, actually, she is the one who is so yeah.
Or a lighter one.
I think the success of such marriages, tribal, mixed, or whatever, depends on literacy and exposure.
Of course, yes.
Yes, I think that is the basic.
Yeah.
Is someone literate?
Not even so much literacy.
Exposure.
You can really have gone to, say, the great universities in Nairobi or wherever else you come from. But if you're not exposed, like another story I like to give, it is assumed that the Luos, in fact, a lot of women will say, unajua Wajaluo wanaochaga mtoto na hapo mahali ameoshia pupu ya mtoto dia nakatakatia boga.
Really?
Yes. Unajua hapo anakatakatia boga hapo dia alioshia mtoto pupu na towel na napkin. So, because...
These stories are real?
No, for real though. Because we are used to... Can I continue?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, we are used to... The Luos in Kisumu can put water and near a gul. A gul is like a pot, right?
Yes.
And those who don't have a pot can put it in a bucket.
Yes.
But the Kikuyus use buckets to wash clothes. So if you are a neighbor in a plot 10 to a Luo who is drinking water from the bucket, you can start saying, unajua ile kitu ya kuoshea mtoto dia anakujaga maji ya kuoga. Wajaluo ni washafu. So you need that information.
We'll be back after the break. I'm going to play something for Eric and Barbara about Travelog, which gives you information about various destinations that you can travel. Apart from going to Mombasa and Malindi, as Eric likes going, you can also go to Homa Bay.
Yes, Rusinga Island.
Yes, very many places. We'll be back. This is 94.4 Spice FM. You're hanging out with the adults in the room. And we're taking your phone calls, and I'm loving the deck. It's turning all yellow. That means every guys are calling in. The number is 0719012600. It is 0719012600. Call in and chime in on the conversation.
A very warm welcome to you from Shabab, Kitty, Section 58, Kiamunyi and Langalanga areas of Nakuru. Remember, our frequency in Nakuru is 96.0. And if you're down in Lodwar, Turkana County, Lokicha, Lokari and Kakuma, tune in live on www.spicefm.co.ke. If you're in Mombasa, worry not. The county I love, you're on 87.9. These are the adults in the room where we have no holds barred conversation about the these and that between women and the men who love them. My name is Eric Omondi.
And I'm Barbara Mbaka, also known as the Duchess of Ecolo Money. As Emmanuel has said, chime in on the conversation, and you can also do that by plugging into our social media. That is Spice FM KE on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Let me repeat that, Spice FM KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I shall be sampling some of your comments. I would like to read something from a gentleman called, Woltenberg Rock. They say that love is blind, so why do I have to love someone only from my community? Love has no boundaries, period.
All right.
Man,
that is very
enjoying
interesting.
really love. Huh? That's a good message.
Yeah.
Right.
So yes, love has no boundaries.
Me have crossed all the boundaries all the way to Meru, man. Do you think I'm a man people should emulate?
Yes, we should.
Yeah,
Another one. Another one called Nya Israel Boy. I'm following. I'm a Kikuyu married to a Luo guy. We choose to live a Christian way. We are aware of the culture. Actually, it is not easy. It's good she also tells us that when we were getting married 14 years ago. This far, it's by his grace.
Wow.
That is very nice. Congratulations to Nya Israel Wamboy.
Amazing. You know, Nya Israel, I like what she said.
Yes.
Because my point, what I was thinking when she was talking about that, when you're reading that,
Yes.
in a friend of mine from Game tells me that when he goes back to the village to visit, his mother takes him round neighborhoods. Then he says, Jonathan, let's call him Jonathan, not his real name. When you go around all these homestead, do you see anyone from Mount Kenya?
Our parents can be very mean.
And then he says, no, ma'am, I don't see. That is because it will not last. So I think the point I'm trying to make is this.
We are very happy that now
yes,
Israel
that
Wamboy
is
has
just a
lasted
story.
for 14
I
years.
think it's very important that we promote our own cultures and share some of the success stories about your own culture.
Yes.
And cross-cultural relationships, if
Yes.
any, as she has.
Yes.
Because a lot of negativity get publicized.
Yes.
But seldom do we hear any positive stories. So well done, Nyar. What's her name?
Nya Israel
Yeah,
Wamboy.
Israel. Thank
Yeah.
you. And I hope you have another 14 years.
All
eh?
right, let's
Yes.
pick a call. 94.4 Spice FM. You're on the air. Hello. Hello. All right, I think maybe somebody has grabbed that phone and run away with it.
Another gentleman called Teburis Delis says it is very true. This is it needs a strong man to get into this, to get into the marriage.
All right. A
Yes.
marriage with a different tribe.
Yes, actually, as I said, it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah,
So
it is,
that's
yeah.
why I
Yes.
think we're having this conversation. Let's pick another phone call. 94.4 Spice FM. Hello.
Hello,
Hi, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Dixon. I'm calling from Zimmerman, Nairobi.
Hi,
Karibu sana,
Dixon.
Dixon, how is it going, man?
Yes, I'm fine. What about you?
It's going very well. Karibu sana. What are your thoughts on the topic today?
That topic is so nice to hear. Yeah, you see, we can't ignore our traditions and we can't ignore what we mean by our culture.
Yes.
In as well as the relationship is concerned, we just have to look at these perspectives. You know, cultures have been set, and we can't ignore them. Like I'm a Luo, I'm Dixon Omondi,
Yes.
and you see, some of our cultures, if you tell a Kikuyu lady that you want to engage in a relationship with her, the first thing she will ask you is that, are you from Elua? Then you'll say, yes, I'm from Elua. Then she will ask something like, I hear that if your wife died, then you something like you just have to sleep with the dead body and whatever. So they are getting scared of some of our cultures, and we are also getting scared of some of their cultures.
Yes.
Like a old guy, if you die, then you see, if a lady dies, if your wife dies, then you will be given the sister. You see?
Inheritance.
You will be given the sister to replace your wife who has died, to take care of that place. And you see, if you look at the central people, that is something awkward to them, huh? Yeah. So you see, it's becoming very difficult to get in terms of some of other people's culture, and some of them might end up not being in a good ending. And you see, that can affect the future generation, like our children. You see, the generation to come.
All right. Thank you so much for.
Yes.
You wanna say your part in short?
Yeah, I'm just congratulating that topic, and may you guys keep up. Very common.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm so much happy with you people guys there.
Thank you, sir.
You're not happy with Barbara Mbaka?
Yeah, Barbara and Emmanuel. Huh? I'm so happy with you guys all. Huh?
All right. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much,
calling.
and keep it Spice FM.
Yes.
All right, that guy has brought in a very nice angle because when my wife was quite
Skeptical.
interested at our culture, because when I was burying my dad, we go with the body to Western in a convoy,
Yes.
right? And then it goes to the home, and then it stays in the home inside his house.
Yes. He has to give respect to his...
for like 2 nights, it's the body's just there. That was my first funeral in
Oh, you
Liam.
actually never experienced that?
I've never experienced it.
Oh.
So after those 2 days is when now you get buried. So she was like, hey, that's weird, because you see, the funerals I've gone to in Meru, you just get there. In fact, you only view the body in
Many
the
people
hospital.
fear dead bodies. You should know that. Many cultures.
You only view the body in the hospital, and then the
It's
body
done.
is now driven to the home, and then you're buried.
For us, we have to see.
Yeah.
We have to see this corpse.
Yeah, you have to look at it.
While we cannot deny that people are shaped by their backgrounds and their cultures, and also one of the things I would like to lay emphasis on is upbringing.
Yes.
Because upbringing is very different. When I was 8 years old, this is a very personal story. My mother lied, quote unquote, that I was going for a birthday party. All right? My uncle and I, my mother's last born brother, who was about maybe 14 or 12. And then I was 8, maybe in class, very lower primary. So she said, we're going to a birthday party on Saturday. You have to wake up early and dress. So we woke up early and dressed up, and off we were whisked. So we went and met a doctor, I'll never forget his name, Dr. Toto, who said, before the birthday party, I want to show you how the theater looks like. So I was like, hey, this is a strange birthday party. So I'm going to be taken to a theater, and then I go to a
birthday party.
So then we had to put on the theater regalia,
You still hadn't?
I had no clue. So we walked in, he said, Eric, good boy, lie here. So I'm like, hey, why am I lying here?
Yes.
So little did we know that my mother had set up for us to be circumcised.
Yes.
So me being Omondi and all, she had done that.
Yes.
And then when
Privately.
not privately, it was public knowledge. Everybody
Yes.
knew. So when we left, she told me, a circumcision is not taboo or a tribal conversation. It's a health practice. And
Yes.
it's good for boys to have it.
Yes.
So later on in life, when I met now in my 30s, even like Kikuyu ladies and we are hanging out. I remember one lady I dated. When she talked to her friend about dating me, the friend said, first of all, wait, umesema? His name is Eric Omondi. Is he circumcised?
Yes.
That was the first question they asked. So there's a lot of these typical
Stereotyping.
And they've gone from generation
Yes,
to
so
Yes.
they go from generation to generation. But you have to also, while we can't deny that a background or culture shapes somebody,
Yes.
there's a lot of individualism that comes
Yes.
to play.
Yes.
Because in
That
my
is true.
adult life,
Yes.
I never ever felt what it was like to have to be uncircumcised.
Yes.
Yet my culture
Culture,
is tied to it.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
Barbara, this culture, like my dad cannot see high physically
On
his
your
hand
hand, yes.
to to my wife. Like for me, my children, when I get children and they get married, I don't think I'm planning to not say hi
Greet
to them.
them by the hands.
Absolutely.
So I think you just take the cultures and look at yourself individually
And see what
say,
fits with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna leave this out. Is there anything up on Nini?
Actually, we have a gentleman called Rhino Samuel. He says, "Hi guys, hope you're doing well. The topic is a really hot issue in some areas, but where I come from, that is Kisii County, most families are actually drifting away from such primitive cultures and tribal skepticism."
Yeah, that guy has hit the nail spot on. He's just said what we are talking about right now.
Yes.
Let's pick one call. Hello, Spice FM, you're on the air. Hello. Hello, Spice FM. All right, I think maybe they can't hear us. Let's try someone else. Hello, Spice FM, you're on the air. Hello.
Yes.
Hi, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Ni Msuko kutoka Mombasa.
Mshefa. Msuko, vipi?
Watu sana na kweli.
Fiti sana. What do you have to say about this topic?
Yenye kusema tu leo hiyo topic manze ni topic ni shungine kubwa maana mchukua for example kama mimi. Mimi sasa danganya tini na mimi saa mimi nasema nimezaliwa katika familia Kikamba, lakini sasa ukicheki pale mali nimelelewa zaidi nimelelewa katika culture 3 tofauti. Make mimi sijalelewa katika culture Kikamba, nimelelewa katika culture Kiturkana. Hapo ndio mara ambapo nimesomea tuseme kuanzia pale miaka kitu kama nilikuwa na miaka kama 5 hivi mpaka nilipoingia class 6 hapo nikamalizia hapo. Kutoka hapo nikaenda nikaishi na jamii ya hii jamii ya Samburu ya wafugaji ambao wanatoka Samburu. Hapo kuna hapo ni kwa watu wengine tofauti ambapo nikamalizia shule yangu mpaka nikaanzia high school hapo. Kutoka hapo nikakuja Mombasa sasa nikaishi na jamii ya Mijikenda. Asa napata katika mwani kama hapo nikisema issue kama hiyo sasa unasema mambo na culture na mambo na rescue wati kama ni issue katika mambo na kuoa nini. Mimi nimeona vinyezo culture tatu ambazo zinalelewa na mimi sijaona kodi zenyewe kushakuta. Asa napata mahali kama hapo ukisema hasa sasa kiasi kama sasa for example nipanga hata kuoa. Sasa mimi mwenyewe kama make kama sasa for example kufikia sasa mimi najua kitu kama culture 3 pekee yake nila kwa mimi mwenyewe sijui make sijawahi jua yani make sijaifundishwa make hata sijaika na haijatokea kote nikakaa na wazazi wangu ambao wakanifundisha hivi ndio kunaenda hivi hapana.
Sasa uko na 15 seconds kabla tuende kwa break. Imekuwa affect wewe personally history ya culture?
Hiyo culture personally imeaffect sasa danganya. Kwa hivyo hapo hivi inaweza ikaleta issue tricky sana make inaweza ikaleta shida sio kwangu peke yangu mimi hata kwa mtu yote yule ambaye amafikitika kama mimi pia inaweza ikaleta mtu shida. Kwa hivyo sio kitu cha kawaida. Si kitu ya kufanya mchezo.
Alright.
Okay. Asante sana.
Thank you so much for calling.
Yeah, that brother is well traveled. You know, it's funny. It's the way your mind can play tricks. I thought he was some sort of Swahili guy.
Yes.
Lakini ni Mkamba. But anakuroga Swahili jamaa.
Amelelewa Turkana, akaenda Samburu, alafu akarudi.
This is 94.4 Spice FM. Don't touch that dial.
Tired of living your same old life?
94.4 Spice FM. My name is Emmanuel Kisiangani, hanging out with the adults in the room, and we're having a very, very awesome conversation. Remember, if you're in Nairobi, the frequency is still and will remain 94.4 Spice FM.
That is absolutely right. Sugar and spice and everything nice. We are the adults in the room where we have no holds barred conversation about relationships, money, sex, and anything that pertains men and the women who love them. These are the adults in the room. Remember, if you're in Nyeri, the areas of Mkureini, Tetu, Karatina, we are live and direct on 97.9. If you're in Kisauni, Chuda, Nyali, Topanga, we are live in Mombasa and its environs on 87.9. And what if you want to watch in the office? You're probably stuck, not yet in your car. Simply go to www.spicefm.co.ke. That is because Spice FM is the first radio coming alive in visual format. My name is Eric Omondi.
And I'm Barbara Mbaka also known as the Duchess of Ikolo Money. Our telephone numbers are 0719012600, 0719012600. We shall be picking your calls from now till the next 30 minutes. Our SMS code is 40127. And as Eric said, go and chime in on our social media handles and let us know what you think about the topic. That is Spice FM KE.
Remember, we are taking your phone calls all the way to the top of the hour, and we're enjoying hearing your voices from Malindi and Lodwar and other places in Kenya. I think we'll go straight to the phone before Barbara tells us what's happening on Facebook. Let's pick a phone call. Hello, 94.4 Spice FM. You're on there. Hello.
Spice FM.
Hi, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Michael Omondi Magambo from Nakuru.
Hi, Magambo.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. What do you think about Pardon?
On the topic of today.
Yes.
I'm a Luo from Rongo.
Yes.
But I have a girlfriend, a Kikuyu girlfriend.
That is nice.
Mayo.
Leave Eric alone, please. He's just yawning.
One thing I would like to tell you, on tribal issues, we rarely talk about it.
Yes.
It is just the relationship. Rarely, tribal issues, we rarely talk about it.
That's why it's Spice FM. We talk about what people don't want to talk about.
Yeah. You know, there's one thing in life.
Hello, are you still there, my brother?
I'm there.
Yeah, we missed you. There's one thing in life.
I'm trying to make a difference.
Hello, your network is going off just when you're about to say something I really want to hear. Okay, well, there's one thing in life. Tell us.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Tell us.
I'm telling you one thing. You know, some tribal issues, you just have to assume them. The life that we are living today, make your personal decisions. But now that I'm married to, I have a Kikuyu girlfriend. When we are married, the issue of tribalism will go away.
Yes.
You see? So that's my point. You just need to stay away from tribal issues and focus on your life.
Right.
Thank you so much for that.
Much for calling.
I would agree, actually, because I think one of the advantages of intertribal marriages is cohesiveness, and just, intermarriages have a way of just bringing people together. Also, it inadvertently causes the understanding that is lacking.
Yeah.
Because you learn firsthand how the Kikuyus do the things they do, and the Luos do the things they do, and why they do them,
and the Turkana
and the Turkana, and so on and so forth. So I think it needn't be frowned upon.
You've reminded me about one of the advantages I thought of is that your gene. You see, if you marry from another tribe, your gene pool is far apart.
That's true.
All right.
It's
actually being a pointee, in other words.
Oh, yes, you and this pointee. You just said I was a pointee from Maragoliland.
Yeah. If you're like me, I'll get pointy kids.
I know. So that's why you married a lighter version of you?
No, she's
good
not
for
light.
you.
She's not light.
She's lighter than you. Let me read for you something from a gentleman called Single John. The only reason I will go for a fellow tribesmate is I won't get any surprises, because I will be certain of all the norms and taboos.
Yeah, but I don't know how true that is. I don't think a human being can surprise you no matter what.
Yeah, yes, that is true.
So I was telling you before Barbara interrupted that she wanted to kill my point about the gene pool. Eh?
I'm sorry.
One of the reasons I married my wife, not one of my
many
things. Yeah, one of the many reasons. Thank you, Barbara. Is she's very smart. Like she's one of those people who get things really fast, and she got very good grades in high school compared to mine.
She
was really good. She's really good at mathematics. So I wanted my kids to be born with some of me and some of that smart gene.
That is good.
You're so lucky to have found a wife who's smart. There's once I dated a lady who was very smart but also spectacularly rude. So I opted out and ran for the hills. She was brilliant but rude.
You and women who are rude.
No. This particular one. It's
Well,
not many.
yeah, she was
After
smart
that,
and rude.
Super smart, but super deliciously rude.
Were you attracted to her smartness?
No,
initially?
more than anything else. I like that she would grasp things quickly because I can't for the life of me. I pray every day that God puts me asunder from dimness. I don't like
You're being
dim-
nasty.
No, I don't like dimness.
There's a gentleman by the name Joe Nderitu. He says, we cannot ignore our culture, our cultural backgrounds. But then again, love is blind and the heart wants what it wants.
The heart does want what it wants. There's a thought I had. I think the media has a duty in terms of announcing. They must make new articles or write new articles and make reports about success in relationships, especially between cross-cultural. Because you see a lot of media propagating these political discourse about, us, what were born, de la ufa, we vote like this, and guys from this section. So, and then it puts us, it divides us more than puts us. But I know for sure, like you, my friend, one of my closest friends is married to a lady who's Kamba stroke Kikuyu. Mm-hmm. My other friend is married to a lady who's Kalenjin and Luo and he's Kikuyu.
That is nice.
Yeah. So there's a lot of these success stories, only that they don't get it to the fore.
One of my relatives during the elections, he's married to a lady from the Central Province. Mm-hmm. So during the elections, he hid his wife's ID.
Oh, that is sad.
So that she does
it's not
vote.
funny. It's sad. Don't say that. Let us know.
So she's like, where was my ID? This guy hid it. Can you imagine? But that was funny. That was a silly thing.
Pick a call there. Let us know what people think.
Hello, 94.4 Spice FM. Hello.
Hello.
You're on the air. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, Spice.
Can you turn down your radio, please? So we can hear you clearly. Hi. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Rogers Kenny from Tarbo.
Hi, Rogers.
Tarbo is actually on my way to my village, Luandeti.
Yes. I
Rogers,
have relatives in Tarbo.
I've been to Tarbo all the way to Takwel and all those regions. I like it in Tarbo. How is it going there, man?
We are good.
Thank you for calling. What are your thoughts on the topic?
So my thoughts are that I think let me pick basing on my current girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I think the background that I've been for like the past 4 years have made me choose the current girlfriend that I have.
Right.
Basing on.
Oh man, we've lost my brother from Tarbo. My brother from Tarbo, if you can't, please try and call back. Because you've just gone offline. But anyway, we can take this opportunity to go on a very short break. Remember, you're hanging out with the adults in the room. This is 94.4 Spice FM, the home of authentic conversation. And we're going to be taking more phone calls all the way to the top of the hour. Don't touch that dial. This is Spice FM 94.4. You hang out with the adults in the room.
That is absolutely right. We are the home of your absolute favorite 80s ballads and spicy soul jams. Remember, we are having quite a fantastic conversation. We're talking about whether or not you can have success between inter-tribal marriages. The number to call is 0719 012 600. And my name is Eric Omondi.
And I'm the Barbara Mbaka, also known as the Duchess of Ikolomani. Let me just sample some of the comments. P.S. Kipto says, true love and friendship in a relationship works a miracle on this issue. Not even witchcraft can prevent a marriage built on such grounds, no matter what cultural beliefs you come from.
Tunasema amen.
Amen.
Let's pick one phone call. Hello, 94.4 Spice FM. You're on the air. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Peter.
You'll have to speak up so that we can hear you.
Oh, my name is Peter.
Peter, karibu sana. How are you and what do you think of the topic?
Oh, I just want to pick a few points from the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I once had a relationship with a man already.
You'll have to talk louder, sir.
We're
really straining to hear you so the whole country can hear you because I hear you have a very nice story. Please speak louder.
I'm saying this.
Hello? Oh, man, that connection was poor. I was really looking forward to hear.
Yes.
Please call back if you can. Hello, 94.4 Spice FM. You're on the air. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Lucky from Tawala.
Karibu sana from Tawala. How are you and what do you think of the topic?
I'm doing dope. The show is good.
Thank you.
Okay, on the basis of tribal issue here, it's high time for Kenya to need to understand that the tribal issue and the relationship actually at some point go hand in hand. You see, on my side, if I date a Luo girl, I'm a Luya, by the way. So they reach a point that say, okay, you Luyas like eating like ugali in the evening. That's after work. And we need to, we have just get used to eat something like rice. You see, so they on the food basis, so you just find there's a difference there. So when you want to maybe do your own things in terms of family sides, she will just jump in and say, no, let's first do something.
Yeah, that guy had brought in the angle of eating. It was a very serious angle in my house, as I shared with you guys.
Food.
But things are really going well at my place. My wife is cooking some serious.
Yeah,
she's even rookered now to recipes from the States and Italy.
Which is a
I'm
good
eating
thing.
Italian food at home.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's amazing.
That's nice.
Eric Maze. Soon you'll enjoy there.
Oh, please. I knew you were going to go there. Leave Eric alone.
Let's pick another phone call. 94.4 Spice FM, you're on the air. Hello? Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Where are you? What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Geoffrey from Eldoret.
Hi, Geoffrey.
Hi.
What do you think about the conversation for today?
I think my culture, first of all, I'm a Luya.
Yes.
And my culture, and my culture allows any man from this community to marry any lady, so long as they are not related in any way.
And so long as they also don't go with the children, right?
Yeah, that's
debatable.
Basing on the law. So, to me, I've adhered to those principles that are set by my culture. That's and my current girlfriend is a Luo, by the way. So they have no problem with that. And my previous girlfriend was also a Luo, so they don't care, so long as you're not related.
Maybe you should try and cross over further.
Barbara, don't listen to Barbara. She likes telling people to cheat.
He's lying.
But from my community, my tribe, that is, they don't oppose polygamous men.
Oh Lord!
So it's allowed.
So are you able to bring?
I shall not comment on that.
Are you able to bring your former girlfriend together with this current one and then marry them together?
Actually, they know each other.
You already have two girlfriends.
Kinda.
Oh my God, Geoffrey.
Though, and they are both Luos. So, though one is rude, spectacular, rude.
That is interesting.
So I have to balance.
For the sake of peace, don't mention her name. She might be listening.
Even me, if you are dating another girl and
I'll be very rude.
I'd also be very rude. But anyway, thank you so much for calling.
The feedback. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Eric, spectacular rude. It seems to be now a tagline.
It's a tagline. Oh, ladies, we need to stop being spectacularly.
Tell you what, let's pick one more phone call and then we hear what's happening on other social media platforms. Hello, Spice FM, you're on the air.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Mr. from Tipare.
Oh, karibu sana.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for calling Spice FM. What are your thoughts on the topic today?
Nikichangia mada.
We've lost him.
Alikuwa ameanza kuchangia mada. Maze. Please call us back. Tunataka
At least you taught Emmanuel a topic. Mada si topiki. Emmanuel, his Swahili is very poor. Emmanuel, try and pick another call.
Yeah, I can try and pick another call when they start coming in.
It's okay. I have something from Victor Olwoch. He says, when it comes to discussions like this, Kenyans usually lie to themselves at the, oh, we are Christians, oh, we are the modern world. The reality is that it is easier to marry a girl from Nyarma, if I'm not wrong, than Kenyan girl from a different tribe.
Has he written oh? He's written
Yes, I'm not lying. Check. He's written you thought I was putting Tanakali as a Sauti out here.
Hello, Spice FM, you're on the air. Hello. Hello. I don't know why people are getting disconnected today. I don't know what's happening.
Remember, you can reach us on 0719012600. We are discussing whether a tribe is a factor in marriage and do intercultural relationships work. These are the adults in the room.
Yeah, man. So
I have a gentleman called Philo. The future challenge of your intermarriage is where you are the man or woman ready to include your spouse in the next of kin of your home, wealth, and pension scheme, and so on.
That guy has thought like me. He's gone all the way into pension.
Yes.
I hope he's not 90.
In fact, that's why I read it. I was like, this is a relative to Eric. Same line of thinking.
And what are your parting shots, Barbara?
For me, I would say, for starters, my tribe is Kenya. So, as I said, it is your prerogative. You can marry anyone you want. You can go into a relationship with anyone you want. However, it is not for everyone. Not everyone is cut out to be in interracial, intercultural, or intertribal. And because I believe it takes a lot of self-sacrifice and hard work from the onset. So, but as I said, my tribe is Kenya. And for those who are able to manage it and put 14 years like Nyawambo, Israel, congratulations to you.
For me, I think for someone who's actually in a intercultural marriage, there are things I'm learning, new things that I'm learning, which I'd never have learned about in my life.
Yes.
If I married from my culture, you know, things like how to, like my wife is very good with money, you know, and she's calm with that.
And
So
you're poor with money?
Yeah, I'm not as good as she is.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's come with that skill. Plus, obviously, those advantages I was highlighting earlier, like very nice brains.
Yeah.
So I think it gives you a different perspective, which you'd never, ever, ever have discovered ever in your life.
Yes.
And that is absolutely true. I'm an ardent reader of poetry.
Yes.
So I'd like to end my thoughts with some of my absolute favorite poem by Maya Angelou. It's called The Human Family. He says, I note the obvious differences in the human family. Some of us are serious and some thrive like Emmanuel on comedy. Some declare their lives are lived as true profundity and others claim they really live the real reality. The variety of our skin tone can confuse, bemuse, delight. Brown and pink and beige and purple, tan and blue and white. I've sailed upon the 7 seas and stopped in every land. I've seen the wonders of the world, not yet one common man. I know 10,000 women called Jane and Mary Jane, but I've not seen any two who really were the same. Mirror twins are different, although their features jibe. And lovers think quite different thoughts while lying side by side. We love and lose in China, we weep in England's moors, and laugh and mourn in Guinea, and thrive on Spanish shores. We seek success in Finland, and born and die in Maine. In minor ways we differ, in measure we are the same. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. My name is Eric Omondi.
And I'm Barbara Mbaka, also known as the Duchess of Ikolomani. Tune in tomorrow, same time, same frequency, same station.
What are you up to from here, Barbara?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to jog. Don't ask.
Yeah,
it's a long story. Okay. I'll let you know. Not night running.
You're going to jog to look for the census guys?
No, I've been eating badly because I've been eating late, so I'm feeling guilty.
All right, Eric, what are you up to from here?
I am going home directly. I'm trying to finish this book today. And
You've been finishing this book for 2 weeks?
No, today I'm finishing it, for real. I'll tell you more about it tomorrow.
From here, I'm just going to make even more peace with my wife. I think those points of mine for brains, nini.
Oh, that's what you were trying? You are such a sucker.
Down. Hey, by the time I pick her home, she'll be
like,
back
oh,
in love
baby.
with this lawyer man. Thank you for choosing you, my lawyer man. But anyway, you're hanging out with 94.4 Spice FM. This has been the adults in the room, and we've had so much fun. Thank you for the guys who called in. The guys who couldn't get through, please call again tomorrow. I hope you'll be able to get through. But we've had fun. We've had so much fun. We're going to be here tomorrow at the same time, at the same place. My name is Emmanuel Kisengani.
Absolutely. My name is Eric Omondi. Keep it Spice FM for all your Maya and 80s and all the spicy jams. And see you tomorrow. Adios.
And I'm Barbara Mbaka, also known as the Duchess of Ikolomani. Good night and stay safe.
See you tomorrow.